Hey guys, it's Tuesday, and we're all sitting here getting ready for the show tonight.
I guess you'll call this our trailer. So thank you so much for joining us. I can't believe it's Tuesday already. Boy, the weekend just went by quickly, but we really appreciate you joining us tonight. We're going to be discussing, obviously, is Nancy the missing piece to solving this case? I think a lot of us have been wondering whether a no-body homicide is something that they could actually accomplish in this case for prosecution, or is it something that maybe that's why we're waiting? Maybe they know who it is, and Nancy is the key to bringing it all forward. So we're excited for y'all to join us tonight and go over some things that we've been researching.
Yeah, we got a couple of topics we're going to do tonight, but that's the main overall topic, I guess, is Nancy the real reason that they haven't solved this yet?
And overwhelmingly, you all have been amazing. The amount of new members that we have, new subscribers. You know, for us, the only thing that we really appreciate is the subscribe, set your alerts, and give us a like if you enjoy our content. It really does help us. We're amazed at how many people have seen our videos so far, and we've only been around for a month. So thank you so much for everybody's support, and I guess we'll see you in a couple minutes.
Thank you to all the other streamers that have contacted us, big and small. So we're all in this together. We're just trying to get some answers, you know, on this case right now.
It's been really cool. The people that have contacted us and said, I've heard about you. You guys are up and coming. And we've been invited on Crime Crunchies. So we'll be there on Friday night. So 5:30 p.m. Central. So we're really excited about that. Thank you so much, Courtney, for contacting us and thinking that we're worthy enough to come on your show.
Yeah.
We're really excited about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll see you here in a few minutes.
See you in a second.
I'm hearing that they're working, the task forces together with the FBI and the Sheriff's Department investigators. They're working it every single day. They're doing what they can with the information that they have. They're getting some new eyes on it. I know that investigators were back out in the neighborhood just in the last few days going through areas around Nancy's house, just looking for new things. And that being said, like Sheriff Nano said, I know that there were so many tips that came in. Those all have to be followed up on.
Particularly one like this that's this high profile, we're constantly out in front of the media telling them, hey, we know you know something. Maybe it's your brother, maybe it's your sister or your uncle or your best friend or your worst enemy. But somebody out there knows something and has said something. Don't dismiss that. Somebody out there knows something. We need that knowledge. We need you to call us. You know, we don't dismiss anybody's tip. I don't care where you're from. We take it. We're police officers, and we look at it, we evaluate it, and we work it to what we believe needs to be done with that tip. Yeah, I don't care where you're from. If you believe you know something, call us. We meet with these detectives pretty regularly, and they come in and brief me. It's not a briefing where I'm imparting this great knowledge of mine to solve this case. That's not what my role is. I look at these young men and women and go, one, I think if you could be in that room, you would be just as impressed as I am at, wow, these guys really know their stuff. These are young men and women who are way ahead of me in the game of technology that they know that exists and the way it works. And I just kind of go in there and listen and watch. And what I'm really looking for is their level of enthusiasm. Are they defeated? Do they have those shrunken shoulders? Not at all. They are so charged up and so pumped up, and I'm very proud of them. They're a good team that's working just so hard. That gives me all the hope in the world that we will find her.
Hey guys.
Can you hear us now?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I'm looking at the chat. Can you hear us now? Give me a thumbs up.
Someone said they couldn't hear us.
Hi, Jen and Glenn. We can hear the intro, but not you.
How about now? Test.
I can hear on my laptop, somebody said. All good. Okay, well, that's good.
I don't know what that was.
Phew. That's weird.
Oh.
Well, it happens. Welcome to live television. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate you all being here. I think this is probably the most frustrating case I've ever seen in my lifetime. I know there's many that are still missing, I think, but for having such a high profile case that's in the news, that seems to have so much attention on it from all of law enforcement and the government, to continue to hear that we're not really hearing anything, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll let Glenn start.
Well, tonight we're going to be talking about, is Nancy the reason that they haven't solved it yet? In other words, she could be the biggest piece of evidence. So we'll actually have some of our little visual aids that we usually have, and then we'll go over some of that. And you know, this is kind of under the assumption, I know we did some polls earlier, and thank you for those. We'll go over some of those results. But there was a large margin of people that think that they already know who it is. They just maybe don't have enough yet, or they're putting the case together, as they say. And maybe the final piece is to actually have Nancy back, you know, one way or another, to have the final piece of evidence. So could that be what they're waiting on?
It sounds like it might be. But before we get totally into it, I've seen a couple people tell us where they're from. We would love to see where everybody's from. We had some people from Brazil and Australia last week, so we would love to hear it. So put it in the chat so we can see it, where you're from tonight.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for joining us on a Tuesday night. I hope you all had a good work week or retired week, whatever you all are doing, school week. Oh, Pima County, Arizona.
Oh,
Pretty
awesome.
Little Blues. Thank you for joining us. Jody Lynn. Hi, everybody. Texas, Louisville, Kentucky, Joanne West. Nice. Thank you for joining us. Yellow Dogs, North Texas, Ohio, New York, Las Vegas. Wow. Vermont, Georgia. Wow. Saskatchewan, Canada, Galveston, Texas. You guys, this is awesome. New Jersey, Colorado. I used to live in Colorado.
Let me look here.
Awesome. And right under y'all, yep, you are in Arkansas, Knoxville, Central PA. I have family in Pennsylvania. And Australia, I have family in Australia. This is so cool. The North Pole. No, you're not. That is lies. That's our mod. Is he really from the North Pole?
Need a satellite phone.
There's my sister in North Texas. Sister's in the house. Hi, Heather. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Wisconsin, California. I have family in California too. That's so awesome. And just
Arkansas.
So we're clear. For those of you that were here on our last broadcast, I did finally tell my dad. So I don't know that. Yeah.
I tried to get her to do it on the show, but she wouldn't do it.
I don't know if he'll be watching. But anyway, he was very proud of us. He was excited. He goes, so let me get this straight. You guys are having fun. And I said, well, I don't know if you call true crime fun, but we're enjoying the community that we were bringing together, and we're so thankful for it. And on that note, I want to say thank you to the amazing podcasters that are out there, big channels, medium channels, small channels, that took our interview with Ramona from Mexico, shared it, and gave us credit for it. We really appreciate it. We did get quite a few messages from some YouTubers that were watching us, some audience members that said there was YouTubers sharing it that didn't give credit to us. You know, it is what it is. This is a community where we share what we have. We're all in this together. And we appreciate you all telling us when you give us information, and we appreciate giving those people credit. So
we'll always give the credit where we find stuff.
Absolutely.
And you're welcome to name their names in the chat if you like them and want people to subscribe to them too, or
I mean,
whatever.
Hey, this community, that's what it's all about, is sharing, right?
Well, it doesn't work the way they think it works. And they're the ones who've been doing it a lot longer than me, but by you going over and subbing it another channel does not hurt us.
Nope.
In fact, I think it helps all of YouTube. So,
And we appreciate
Sub away.
anybody that takes the time to sub with us.
yeah. Yeah.
So, one thing I did want to address, I had quite a few emails about what happened with Savannah's note. And I think that note hit everybody on, it was like the worst compliment sandwich. You know, usually a compliment sandwich is, thank you so much. I'm going to have to politely decline, but you're so nice. I appreciate it. You know, it's something nice, something negative, and then something nice to close it
I
out.
bet Rammer Jammer knows what a compliment sandwich
Yes, I bet he does. And, you know, I think it felt like it was hurtful. And I think there's a lot of people, I don't know who it was directly written for. Unfortunately, I think a lot of us felt like it was written about us, meaning anybody that's ever shared something that has an account that's monetized. Anybody that's been out there searching, that received some money from people that said, hey, here's some money for a coffee and water, and maybe let me help you with your hotel expenses. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have been searching in the desert, and, you know, we're talking about Savannah's note.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was just really unfortunate. And something I have kind of felt for a long time was that there may be a lot more to those notes than we realize. And if there isn't, like I said, then we can be mad at her again. But I really feel like there's a lot of grace that needs to be given to a family who's lost a family member, who's in the midst of a horrific incident of not knowing. And I can't imagine, I hope I never have to go through that. I'm sure some of you hope you never have to go through it. And yet we had plenty of people that emailed us and said, I actually have, you know, family members that were unalived. It was just, it's terrible. And I think the true crime community is built up by a lot of people that are either extremely caring and empathetic and sympathetic, but also those that have had either a firsthand or secondhand experience with a true crime. So I wanted to read something to you because I did a little bit of research on this. I really feel like there might be something more to this. In other words, I feel like maybe the FBI is kind of coaching, I guess is probably the best word, the family on what, and when I say the family, I think we can all agree that Savannah is the spokesperson at this point, on what to say, how to act, what to do. And my research on that was kind of interesting. So I put this together, so I apologize. There's well-documented cases in which the FBI has directed or closely coordinated a family's conduct, advised whether the family should speak publicly, recommended a media blackout, helped shape the wording and the timing of appeals, and selected the audience or outlet for the message. The more precise words, I guess, would be strongly advised or coached. The Jill Carroll kidnapping, that was in Iraq in 2006. And this is one of probably the clearest example that I could find of them being involved in public communications. And it was after an American journalist, Jill Carroll, was abducted in Baghdad. FBI agents were assigned both to her family and to the Christian Science Monitor. An agent warned the newspaper that its editors were revealing way too much to the public and counseled them about the risks. Counseled them. I have a smear on my glasses. Or concealed. Hold on just a moment. Yeah. Jeez. Counseled them about the risks of contacting particular organizations, launching certain public efforts. And publicity efforts. So there was just that kind of hit me. And then they said the case is probably closest in historical match, with them helping arrange the family, like who in the family should speak, what the person should say, how strongly it should be worded, which media outlet could carry it, and whether publicity might help or endanger the hostage. Another such incident was the Frank Sinatra kidnapping. And I know some of these have been brought up because it's like, how many kidnappings for ransom have we really had?
Not many.
No.
It's rare.
It's extremely rare. Now add, that she's 84 years old and living in a somewhat quiet neighborhood in Tucson. It's a little different. So now in the Frank Sinatra case, the FBI's involvement was a little more operational than the public relations, but they also, let's see. In this case, they directed the family's activities, and even when it was not visibly to managing the family's public image. So they said who could answer the phone, what the family said to the kidnappers, whether demands should be challenged, how proof of life should be requested, how ransom money should be prepared, who makes the delivery, and whether surveillance should accompany the drop. So in a lot of cases, which I guess we're not familiar with because a lot of this stuff, you don't hear about it for obvious reasons. Usually the kidnapper and abductor says, don't contact authorities. Don't contact the media. That's why this is also extremely rare. So the FBI has absolutely coordinated and sometimes heavily shaped a family's conduct, public communications, especially in kidnappings and hostage cases. Now, does this mean that they helped her formulate that note? Not necessarily. Does it mean that they told her to have YouTubers arrested? Not necessarily. Does it mean that there's a possibility? I guess so. Because the more I researched it, and I don't want to take up too much time with it, it sounds like there could be a pretty strong involvement by the FBI on what she is saying. And since it's such a large departure from her normal persona behavior that we're used to seeing, I feel like that speaks volumes. And there may be a lot more to this than we realize.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, I wish it had been a compliment sandwich. I wish there had been, thank you so much. Please help us. We wish things had been done differently, but thank you so much. And unfortunately, I think because it was left on a negative note, it did not go over well. Now, does Savannah care what we think? Probably not. Does she care about her mom coming home? I think that's the priority. But since we care about it and so many people were impacted by it verbally, and gosh, we got voice messages, we got all sorts of stuff. So I want to say, let's take the high road. That's what Glenn and I are going to do. We're going to keep the voices that can't be heard in our hearts and our minds and on our podcast. So Nancy's voice can't be heard. And I think all the other podcasters that have dedicated so much time, this is what it's about. So I'll let you on that note.
You're going to let me do what?
Let's start with the next subject of this.
Yeah. So we just have a few slides tonight, basically. So everyone get out their notebooks. No, I'm just kidding.
On that, I'm going to do it tomorrow.
There's no test later. So the first one is going back to the topic of the night is Nancy the missing piece of evidence? So our curiosity is, do they already have a person of interest? They're just not telling us. They can lie to us about it. They vehemently deny that. Jennifer's talked to a lot of people the last few days and spoke to an attorney today in that town and other people. And it's not Tucsonians. What is it? Tucsonans.
I think I'm saying it
that
right.
We've now have been, they've called into our tip line or emailed in our tip line, and we've actually started talking to a couple of them on the phone. And there isn't, like today we found out that there are some people that used to, I guess, like Nanos and voted for him, and then are now not fans. So they're like, this case just totally messed up the whole sheriff's office. And I think it just showed that they're not a well-organized group as they once were believed to be. So is it possible that they have somebody and they're just not telling us? We don't know. But what if, this question comes up, like it says here, what if they're really not searching for the person responsible because they already know who that person is? And what they're looking for is the evidence they need to prove it. Now, what could that evidence be? Who knows? But one theory that we're discussing tonight is, what if that evidence is Nancy herself? So if you see there where it says what we know, it's no suspect has been publicly identified. And and Jennifer's going to talk a lot about this later, is the extradition from Mexico or Italy. If they have a person of interest who's out of the country, specifically those two countries, what does that mean for the Pima County or the FBI? And another thing to think about is that Arizona itself does not have or require a body to make an arrest. So a no body homicide, can be tried and won in court, which will come up later on another slide. So, Jen, what's the central question?
Well, I think, we can agree that this is something that a lot of people have been talking about, is like, where do we go from here? And if we don't have a body, which is why the question came up about our interview with Mexico that says that they may, then why aren't they looking for one?
Yeah.
It's not funny. And I didn't mean to laugh. It's just, I guess the giggle was more, I don't get it. And I think a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But again, we can't assume that we're smarter than they are, They have a lot of information that we don't have. I feel like it's been very interesting to hear the wording that Nanos uses, that the FBI is using. I really do believe at this point that it is in the hands of the FBI. I do believe that Pima County is still working on it. However, I believe there are parallel investigations, which when you talk to retired detectives, that's not the best. You want everybody to be on the same page and on the same team. And for some reason, we're playing this good guys and bad guys in the public eye, which is really awkward and in my opinion, very unprofessional. And it makes us become untrustworthy of the organizations and try to pick sides when we should be going, this is so awesome. Everybody's working together.
Yeah.
Just like we were just talking about with YouTubers. We all need to work together, especially for something like this. And I am so grateful for also people on X that I see a lot of people sharing really interesting information, research that's being done. And, I think with this case, I'm just hoping that any tips that come in, whether it is to Pima County directly or to the FBI, which it still sounds by Bob's interview with News Nation, that they're still getting a tremendous amount of tips. And if he's hearing that and he no longer works for them, then it's probably a copious amount. So let's just hope they're getting the right one. I don't know if I told you this, but I actually got it right before we got on air. I was able to go through some more emails, and somebody said that they actually turned in a tip to the FBI. It sounds pretty credible. It's actually somebody that's in Tucson. It's someone that they know, and the gentleman apparently goes back and forth, ironically, to Nogales. And she just thought there was something about his behavior around the time that Nancy went missing that was enough that it kind of made her feel a little suspicious.
Yeah.
She went on his social media because apparently they are, I don't think they're friends. I think they're acquaintances, and noticed a photo that was very suspicious. And it happened to have a photo of Nancy with a burned out tree, which I thought was very interesting. So she said she actually did turn that into the FBI. So again, could it be random? It could be. I just hope that any of these tips that are coming in, that they're able to go through them with a fine-tooth comb and find out what happened. But I think the biggest question has been, so if they get a bunch of circumstantial evidence, they find somebody. I think we can agree that the last week of recapping who was detained, who was investigated, the 5 people that we're all aware of, that were all, investigated for one reason or another, then what does that mean? Especially if they're, I guess Brian was telling us it is not unusual. His brother-in-law, if you're just joining us, you've never been here before, Glenn's brother-in-law is a retired homicide detective from Kansas City. He's been so gracious with his time and letting us ask a bunch of questions so that we can come to you all. And also he's come on our show a couple times. But Brian said that is not unusual. I think the impression I was getting from other people talking about it on YouTube is that why is it still sealed? Like it was not normal and customary. Apparently, according to him, that's absolutely normal until somebody is under arrest, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we'll go over. There's a slide that talks about the 3 different things that you're talking about. But yeah, they can investigate anybody they want, but they have to have probable cause to actually arrest them. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're suspicious looking, I mean, that happened to me actually once when I was a young man, 18, 19 years old, driving through. My sister Sherry, actually going to her place in Irving, Texas. And I remember I was pulled over going through Las Colinas, and I'm like, I wonder why he pulled me over, but I'm not one of those to go, why'd you pull me over? Well, you don't have the right. I'm not doing any of that. I was just like, yes, sir, no, sir. I was, scared, 18.
Yeah.
Well, or 17, I don't know. And anyway, he said, I pulled you over because you don't look like you fit. Okay. I didn't know what that meant. Las Colinas was a very affluent area back in the day. It's where the Dallas Cowboys used to practice.
Did you look like you...
I think he was like a new cop just wanting to play.
Had you been working it with your horses or what was going on?
I don't know, but I remember leaving there, driving away going, they can just pull you over for the heck of it? I thought that you had to be speeding, a broken tail light, some reason. He's like, you look suspicious. I went, okay. So then I've always wondered that. And it's like, and now I know that's true. Like they can do what they want, which I feel safer by that. I mean, it's annoying when you get pulled over for no reason, but it can happen. But I think also what you were talking about is that...
So you're saying probable cause or whatever.
Right. My sister Sherry was telling us when we were talking to Brian the other day, and she was there, that he would come home a lot, and not a lot, I don't know how many times, but he would come home feeling like he had a solid case on a unalived person, and gives it to, they have to go through the channels, and the district attorney will look at it and say, get me more.
Yeah.
And he's like, basically I felt like I have a videotape of them doing it wasn't enough sometimes. So it depends on the district attorneys in Pima County. They may realize how high profile this is. And I would imagine the higher profile a case, the more solid they want it, because now if they take this to court and it's not beyond a reasonable doubt, they're going to have a problem next time people go out to vote for that, district attorneys are. So
I think it just makes it a lot more intense. And I think because needless to say, with high profile cases, I think all of us have seen, even though the defendant may not be of means, there's high profile attorneys from all over the country that are like, I'll represent you. And because they want the attention. And I think the federal courts, the DAs there know, and they know that they've got to have their ducks in a row. Absolutely. And yes, Brian did tell us there was one particular case that was really frustrating because they absolutely knew who it was. They had a lot of circumstantial evidence, but he had a lot of evidence that he thought, this is it. And he said it was almost like a binder worth, that he walked in and the DA called him back 24 hours later, whatever the story was, and said, it's not enough. I'm going to need this, this, and this. Yeah. So I think that's what we've been concerned about, is that what if this person is proverbially, I guess we know he's on the loose. He, they, she, they, whatever, are on the loose, and this wasn't targeted. I think we all feel like it was targeted, but there's always that question mark, right? We're not professionals. We don't know. We don't know what they know. And I don't think that they would put the public in danger. But on the other hand, if they can't nab them because they don't have enough evidence, what does that mean? Yeah. So that's what we're discussing tonight.
Yeah. Hi, Yvonne. Yeah, we used to live in Irving and Las Colinas both. Yeah, when you're from Irving, you could be Las Colinas. You probably still say Irving to a lot of people because it's kind of the same area.
I know. It used to be the home of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So
I miss Texas.
I know. Texas will always have our heart, though. My sister's there. Our oldest son is there. So all right. So what is your next? Now? Yeah. So what the law actually requires, for those that are listening to us on Spotify, we have a graphic up that has the 3 standards, 3 different answers. There's suspicion, which means enough reason to investigate someone, right? And then we have probable cause. And that's going to be enough to make an arrest or support a warrant. And I think, that's what a lot of us were wondering, which is what happened with the whole SWAT, a million cars showing up at people's homes. So I think there's where the probable cause is. And we know that two of the warrants, I guess I can't say two. We know one out of the three major warrants served for residences were local, and then one of them was federal. I do not know about the third, and that would be Annie and Tommaso's house. So I don't know about theirs, and I guess that's beyond a reasonable doubt, enough to convict at trial. So I think we're literally right there. We're on that little thin line between probable cause and beyond a reasonable doubt. That is my guess. I personally think that they are working on somebody. I think they have that person in their sights, but unfortunately do not have enough to convict this person or persons at trial. So there's no body conviction standard. The state can prove a homicide without recovering the body through circumstantial evidence, which I think we kind of went over on some of our other episodes, but we'll go over that in a second. And we do want to ask you all, that's why we have a little poll here at the bottom. Can someone be convicted of murder without the victim being recovered?
Yeah, and it's actually in the chat right now, that poll, and you'll see that it said, if you look at that, Jen, 92% say yes. So
okay.
They understand that.
Well, good. Okay. So I guess everybody is on the same page with that.
Yeah.
It is kind of interesting how every state has their different requirements for it. So I think, the question would be, what are those requirements? And from the ones I could see online, and I do not have them in front of me because we kind of went over them on another episode, is going to be, is there enough either DNA evidence or I should say physical evidence to show that the person was probably mortally injured? Another thing that came up, which I thought was interesting, was if there was been communication that the person is no longer alive, which would bring in the ransom notes.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, real quick, just back to that graphic, those are the three answers you were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. It's like you can have just a suspicious looking person, and a police officer or authority of any kind can begin an investigation into you. The probable cause is they have to have that to be able to arrest them. So like, what's the guy? Carlos is the one that's suing now. So they had every right to investigate him, take him, handcuff him, not let him go, but not put him under, he wasn't under arrest. They didn't have fully probable cause yet. They didn't ever really arrested him. It was just a 7-hour or 8-hour, whatever. So now he feels like somewhere between the suspicion, and the probable cause was they did something wrong. So I don't know. That's a little strange for him, for what I'm looking at. But, they did tear the house up pretty bad. So maybe she needs to be at least compensated for that. And apparently they scared his little brother or cousin or whatever he was enough to where he was pretty upset.
Well, we asked our son about that because our oldest son is a firefighter. And when you have first responders that have to make an emergency entrance into your home, I can promise you it's not trying to find a key. So it's using a lot of force, and you're grateful for it when you're in an emergency and can't open the front door. However, if you make it out, you're all good. You come home and see that your door is destroyed and it looks like something out of the 15th century came through your door with a huge log or something, then it's not so great. So I asked him about that, and he said a lot of municipalities, cities, whatever, have insurance for that. And usually it will take you doing some form of a lawsuit to get.
Yeah, they're not going to just offer.
Yeah, they're not going to write you a check. So I think that's probably standard for what they're trying to do. However, it does beg the question of what's going to happen when Carlos tries to go in, because we've heard his attorney talk a couple of times and they're not letting him see the warrant, which goes back to what Brian said. It's not going to happen. It's sealed. It's sealed for a reason, because when they go and they have the opportunity, they get enough suspicion, is what we've been explained. If there's enough suspicion, enough probable cause, maybe not enough for an arrest, but definitely enough for a warrant to warrant, search, seizure, of DNA, samples from your home, whatever that is, samples from your car, then they put you in the position, which I thought was kind of interesting, because I don't know if any of you noticed, but when they detained Carlos, I believe it was like 5 hours. It was like 5 or 7 hours. And then I believe it was almost the same for Luke and his mom. So when we asked Brian about that, thank you, Brian. If you're even listening, you're probably in bed, but thank you so much for being a great resource to ask. And apparently that's what that whole thing is about. Look, you're not under arrest, but we have only so many hours that they can hold you and detain you and ask questions and try to get every single bit of evidence out of those moments from either conversation or search and seizure, to take it a step further and see if this person is in fact somebody that is now no longer I don't know, but now a person of interest / potential suspect. So it's kind of interesting, but that's going to stay sealed from what we understand until there is someone.
That's the Carlos part, which is just between suspicion and probable cause, where they never got to the arrest.
Right. Well, that's Luke too. That's everybody.
A few people.
Yeah.
Well, Carlos is the one suing, apparently. He feels like the suspicion part is where they didn't do their job correctly. Well, we have to get from suspicion to probable cause and then have enough to go to trial to convict them. And that's beyond a reasonable doubt is the threshold there. So that's why if they do know who it is and they're just not telling us, or maybe they don't, but if they do, that beyond a reasonable doubt is they have to get to that. And maybe that's the deal. We think it's this person, we have a lot of evidence, or maybe even as a police officer in a unit, they're like, we know who it is, we know it's this guy.
Right.
But we can't even say we have a suspicious, or a person that's on our radar, because again, they don't want this person to, make flight or change something, or if there is evidence, he'll go mess with evidence that is still, available. There's a lot of different reasons, I guess.
The other thing was, and in fact, the chat's kind of flying by, so I apologize. We can't really see it. It's off to the side. I think it was Jody Lynn that said something about flock cameras, or somebody did. So what's interesting is we had a Tucsonan, I think that's how you say it, or Tucsonan, that contacted us that's actually kind of in the know in this and has a friend that does know about the cameras in the area. I think from what I'm understanding, Flock Cameras is a brand. There are also 2 other companies that provide the camera footage from traffic footage within the Tucson area. So there's 3 companies. What he said was interesting is that it is completely covered with cameras. What's not is just slightly south of Tucson in what he called, this is what he said that a lot of Tucsonans call it, is Little Mexico. So just south of there used to be a lot of cameras as well. And apparently there was a bunch of uproar from the community saying that they felt that those were unfairly being used to capture people that were sneaking into the country and using it against them. And they felt like that was unfair, so they disabled the cameras. Interesting. So I guess they didn't feel it was necessary for safety for the community. It was more about people's personal rights that were coming from outside the country, which was kind of interesting. He was upset about that.
People are very sensitive about the flock camera issue. We've actually done a little research on that recently because we think that may be a good story to talk about. That company is very secretive. Flock, the actual main one that people know about, but there's a few others that are doing the same thing, and a lot of cities have them. A lot of residents and
what's so secretive
people don't know about it, like their headquarters. Go try and interview them. It's really interesting. The gentleman that I saw, he didn't have an interview set up for him. He was just trying to track them down, and he went to they finally found their address, Googled it or whatever, through months of work, goes there, and they were moving into their new world headquarters. So he went over there and was quietly escorted out from security and said that no. And I think it's because they are considered a security company because their camera, the data that they collect could be sensitive. But
so what do you think? Do you think they actually have a vehicle then?
I don't know.
I mean, hearing what that gentleman said, that
Yeah.
there is more than enough coverage. I mean, yes, there's, light issues,
We've
but
all seen the reports that the flock cameras in the Tucson area are non-existent anymore.
he said that's not true.
But apparently they are existent.
According to this gentleman,
Yeah,
we don't
know. We can't vet this yet. In fact, I usually don't bring something up we can't vet, but it's just a theory if they are.
Yeah, this person seems to be fairly in the know and wanted us to know that because it was frustrating to him.
Yeah, he's probably listening right now. So
Yeah.
can't say.
But if they are, go ahead.
Yeah, if they are, I think they got to figure out how to use that data without letting us know. I don't know. Like, it's like the old cell phone thing. If you remember back in the day that Apple and Google and all that, they won't give data out from someone's phone, even though it could save their lives. It's like there's so much liability in that. So I don't know. I mean,
I know it's like a blessing and a curse. It's like technology is awesome when you need it, but when you feel like it's totally invasive, you're like, it's too much. So it's like, what's the happy medium from keeping us protected? And when we want it, like if that was our mom, we would want the cameras, working.
I mean, you see someone, come to your car and it's been damaged by someone, by accident even. Someone ran into it by accident and drove off. You'd sure like to know or be happy that the flock camera caught it and have a driver or a license plate number. You'd be happy about it. But you don't want to be the person on video either, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm different. I don't feel like I'm ever doing anything wrong to be arrested for. So I don't care if I'm on video or not. I know when I go in and out of any store on most roads now with these red light cameras, are they really just checking for the red lights? I don't know.
Well, do you remember
like
my
you're always
dad
on camera.
swearing the whole time we were in Honolulu?
Oh yeah, that speed trap through there, and it's
Every time it's like he knows
they
it's
give
there.
you tickets by camera.
He talks about getting a ticket from this one spot in Honolulu, and he's like, "Damn it!"
Yeah, it's the end of the Poly Highway there. They just all of a sudden it goes to 35 miles an hour. Anybody that's from Hawaii here knows that area.
It's hilarious, but it's not funny because you feel like it's not just a speed trap; it's totally on purpose because it's at the bottom of a hill. But anyway, we digress. So, what is the next one?
That was it. No, just kidding.
That's it.
Good night, y'all. All right. So as it comes up, we'll look at this.
Okay. What could a recovery prove?
This is important.
So again, I read this for people that are on Spotify, specifically our son that yells at us when we don't read the graphics. So Preston, this is for you. What could a recovery prove? Finding Nancy could provide the evidence that turns suspicion into a provable case. I think
those are the things that it proves on the left column.
I mean, but I think this is what we can all agree is also why some of these bodies are hidden so that you can't find them. Because death confirms that she's not only deceased, but it also will confirm what cause or manner, how she died, changes the charges that apply. So when we're hearing, in the ransom notes, we didn't know she had a heart problem. I mean, I'm going to say wrong. I'm pretty sure they knew. Well, that would change how the charges apply if it was just from natural causes or actual infliction, which I think a lot of us also argue that I'm pretty sure ripping somebody out of her bed in the middle of the night, scaring her half to death, looking the way you did, mister, probably would cause any normal 20-year-old to have a heart attack. So I'm not sure how you prove that that was natural causes when it was inflicting horrific circumstances in her home. Time of death matches the timelines, devices, alibis, and more. I guess that also depends on what condition they find the body. These are all possible things that can be proved. So the other one would be location. Where was the homicide, and was she moved? This goes back to what Glenn's brother-in-law said when he was talking about homicide cases that he had worked in the past. Unfortunately, the location that you normally find the body or the initial crime scene is not the only crime scene. He said there's usually 3 to 4 crime scenes for every homicide, which kind of makes sense in this case. We know that the main crime scene is her home. Unfortunately, we also know that she was taken. So that would be crime scene 2. Now, wherever she was taken next, was that crime scene 3 or, and last, or 3 plus? It's just horrible to think of, but we need to know those things, and the body can sometimes tell us that. And then the offender contact. This could be, touch DNA. It could be fibers from their clothing. There could be things found on her, such as restraints. And then minor trace evidence. It could be anything from a dog hair that they're able to link, to one of the potential perpetrators that are under investigation. So then we've got corroboration. It connects all the people, all the pieces rather, to one or more people. So a recovery might not name who committed the act, but it could absolutely make the case more prosecutable. And that's where I think there's a lot of hope, is that we somehow find her, not only for closure and so that she can, be properly brought home. I think there's some of us that are still holding out this glimmer of hope that she's alive, but
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, is if you look at number 1 on the left column there, it says death, that if they were to find a body, that would confirm that she's deceased. But if they find her alive, you could still get some of those things in the left column too. I mean,
I just don't
obviously
know how.
she'd be coherent enough to tell them who did it.
Right.
But new member,
Thank you so much.
cool beans.
I love cool beans. That's funny. I haven't said that since high school. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Well,
So that's kind of an interesting thing to think about. Now we know
Yeah.
the thresholds to get there and the preponderance of evidence that they're going to need, and maybe that's what they're working on. And if they were to get this piece of evidence, which would be Nancy herself, in whatever condition, hopefully alive, but whatever condition, that could be what really solidifies the case enough to where the district attorney would even say, now let's go. So again, I know when you watch the news and you see Sheriff Nanos, the FBI, whoever, other very qualified people that are retired, detectives and stuff that come on these other podcasts, many of them feel like that's not the case, that they don't have anything. And not that it's a cold case by any stretch of the imagination. It's not a cold case, but I think that most people feel that they probably don't have anything. But I don't know. I just feel like there is something. It feels like the story just changes enough here and there to where you start to question things a little bit.
Well, you all remember the last episode where I had some of you agreed with me. I think more did not.
We are not looking for yes people. We always say that.
And this isn't about winning. This isn't about being right or wrong.
Yeah.
This is about trying to possibly share some information that maybe inspires somebody else to go look for something because they've got an idea and may have a better, technology link or something. We never know what everybody's talents are. And can I just tell you, there's some really, really talented people that are our subscribers. My goodness. Yeah. I mean, I even have a realtor that probably emails me at least twice a week.
You should read some of those.
Yeah. Well, I need to ask permission because some of them ask me not to share their names, but it's really interesting what people have looked and have connections to that have helped them search. And I think that's what this is about. Not all of us have connections to certain pieces of the puzzle that a lot of us are asking about, But what was my point? We were talking about...
If I can just say something.
Yes.
I forgot to mention it at the top of the hour, and it's now 53 minutes into the show. What am I thinking?
I don't know.
Well, that's a first. We've rolled out our new website.
Oh,
so
yes.
It was rolled out to the members a couple of days early, and that was just because we wanted to put you all to work to see if you could break it. And then we rolled it out this morning, early in the morning. Might have been 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to everybody. So the official address is tbxunfiltered.com. Just trying to shorten the Thornbridge X down to tbxunfiltered.com.
Some of you are already using it in chats, and I love it.
From the website, you'll be able to see when we're on air. Like right now, it should say, on air with a little thing, and you can actually see us moving and the actual video on there. But you should click and watch it on YouTube, obviously. But it'll tell you the next episode when it's coming up. It'll tell you the latest episode if we just finished one. You can contact us through there. We do have a call out for right now for people that want to be guests on the show. If you're an attorney, judge, there's a list on there. people that are involved in any of the cases that are coming up.
We actually already had some people write in and say they would like to be
So
guests.
you can do that. There's plenty of things on there. There's some merch on there you can find.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, just if you look at it, oh, thank you, Esmeralda.
Esmeralda.
Love that show.
That's, yeah.
So anyway, tbxunfiltered.com. Tell me what you think, and you can contact us through there as a lazier. Maybe just fill a little form instead of having to put an email together and use your email. So
And somebody was like, I'm using it. Did you get it?
yeah,
So yes,
we did.
we are getting it already.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate it.
I've already got a few.
You worked really hard on that, and it is really, really nice.
Slept in 3 months, but we're good.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did an awesome job. No, seriously, this is not just, oh, he's your husband. You're being, no, I don't, we don't like the ooey gooey stuff. It kind of, but no, I'm super proud of you. That was really hard work. And it is,
Well, it's
I
ongoing.
like things that are user friendly. I don't like to have to hunt for things. I feel like all of us are becoming decreased patience.
Yeah. I want
And then you
things
get
easy.
older, and I feel like it's worse.
You can subscribe from the website. There's a big subscribe button right there at the top.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
So we really,
Welcome to the family. Maxi-Cat.
Oh,
Love it.
Mexican.
Thank you so much.
So anyway, there you go.
So yeah, now you have a new way to
TBXunfiltered.com.
contact us.
So moving along, what do we got here now? Arrest
So,
now or wait?
Golly. So I think a lot of us were wondering, what does it take? Why did we all stay up till 3 a.m. for some of these SWAT vehicles to be there on the edge of our beds, waiting, grabbing some popcorn and soda when we should have been going to bed, going, what is going on? And then it was like the biggest letdown. That's it. They let him go. So here's what it's: arrest now or wait. Investigators face a very high stakes decision. Thank you so much, Kay Berry. We appreciate that. So
KB.
when I say, or KB, I'm sorry, where's the Berry? Jeez. KB, thank you so much. We appreciate that. So when we talk about it, I think a lot of us just get very impatient. We're an impatient society in general now. But I think, I've even had some people who are like, simmer down now in the chat, we need to be patient. But investigators, it's even worse. They're facing a very high stakes decision. Do we arrest now or do we wait? Because, if you arrest now, and to arrest now stops a possible flight. It protects evidence. It prevents further harm. It prevents pressure, pressure on accomplices, or helps rather put pressure on accomplices. And then, they could charge kidnapping if provable. Now, here's why they wait. They want to do continue surveillance. And I think, the problem with surveillance is that they don't know what they need. They know that this person may be suspicious. They know that this person has been maybe called in. There's been a tip about them maybe once, maybe multiple times, but there's just not enough. So they put up some surveillance and see, where do they go? What's their schedule like? Who are their friends? Who are their connections? All those things. Because sometimes it's not who you are, but who you know. And then develop corroboration, possibly locate the person that's missing, in this case, Nancy. Determine cause and time of death, build the strongest complete charge, and avoid exposing the investigation. And I think that's a lot of what's happening right now, which is probably why they're mad at YouTubers, is they feel like it could possibly be exposing parts of the investigation. I am going to cry foul on that a little bit because unfortunately Pima County had their own leaks, as we all know. And again, as much as we were probably, I guess, I don't want to use the word happy or excited to find out information early on in the case. I think we can all agree that it's probably information that we shouldn't have known. Now, the poll is, which risk is greater, waiting or moving too soon? I know, most of us, unless there's some retired detectives in the chat, I think most of us can, agree that we're on the outside looking in. So I'm curious what you all think. And let's put a 1 for if you think the risk is greater for waiting, or a 2 if you think the risk is greater for moving in on it. Can you show us in the chat? Waiting.
The chat has a little delay because
do we have a delay?
YouTube delays you a little bit.
Interesting.
Oh, wait, plus that.
Oh, were you not scrolling out for us?
People.
Waiting. Somebody says maybe the risk is too much to wait.
Joan says, hit the like button. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. I don't see the poll. I'm just asking one or two. It was on the bottom of that graphic. So the risk is too great to arrest. And then, well, it's kind of even. It's saying 1 and 2.
Waiting or moving too soon?
Moving too soon. I think wow.
Waiting is 1.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of even. Interesting.
That makes sense, honestly.
Yeah, it does. Because I think part of us are like, just nab them and then, apologize later. But unfortunately, if you arrest without the proper evidence, it could really harm you for a conviction, which is, I think, the most frustrating thing. All of us agree that we have these laws and these rules for a reason. Proven, you're innocent until proven guilty, which is a good thing. But when you arrest somebody without being able to prove them guilty, then that causes sometimes a lot more harm. And I think we can all agree on that. This is just so heartbreaking, this whole thing. But if you joined us last time, that's what I was going to say. I don't know if you all remember, but I said, I really have a feeling that something else is going on. That's why they put up more signs. And then people were arguing with me. It's not more signs. They put up, they were replacing old signs. Then there were some people from Tucson that came on and said, no, they absolutely did put out some new signs in addition to the signs that they replaced. I had a feeling that this was absolutely intentional because they want the YouTubers to be out. And that could be twofold. Again, I'm not a detective. I'm just, I guess I watch things a lot and I just have ideas. So my theory is that, let's say, and I think we can all agree on this, that when you put in a ransom note, traditionally in the old movies, it's don't call the police, don't tell anyone, here's how much. And not only did they tell someone, they told the whole freaking world. They sent it to two news stations in Tucson and TMZ. I mean, I don't know how much more global it gets, and how much more, ta-da, I'm the kidnapper, read my work. It was very disgusting. And to me, it's so performative and gross that I think it's not too far-fetched to assume that this individual or individuals, I'm assuming that the person that they're really most concerned about is the puppet master or the chef, as Dr. Mercado says. And I think that this person loves fame, loves attention, because for some reason they didn't get it in life. And they want it. And they want it badly with this case. And the attention is also to their craft, and their craft is the crime scene that we all know of. I think we can all agree there's other crime scenes that we're not aware of at this point. Either law enforcement knows or we don't, or nobody knows. But the crime scene one is Mrs. Guthrie's home. And when they get to see it live every single day, no matter how many times they want to see it, late at night, they can see it. It's like feeding and fueling this horrible flame of fame. And I think that there may be something going on behind the scenes, which is why potentially I'm saying that there may have been some coaching on Savannah to put out a notice saying, get them out of the neighborhood, legal or not. As we know, it wasn't legal. They were on public property, which is why their charges were dropped for most of them. And I think they just wanted the cameras off of the home. So then all of a sudden we see on your clip that you played at the beginning of this show that says that here is Bob Krieger. I've heard it pronounced two different ways. So forgive me, Bob. He was former SWAT chief that lives in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he said that there has been a lot of activity. And I think that interview was yesterday. And he said over the last couple of days. So, I don't want to gloat, but told you so. No, I'm seriously though. I mean, this is why we have to be patient and kind of take it down a notch when we want to punch somebody in the throat for, certain things, that there may be something else going on here that we are not aware of. And let's just think about it logically. Why would they want everybody off the street? Why are they putting out more signs? Why are they keeping blocks down from Nancy's blocked off? Why? Oh, well, because the neighbors want back? No, it's because they want only the neighbors and delivery drivers. In other words, only residents and delivery people, people that are supposed to be there coming in and out. That's it. No voyeurs, no voyeurs, no gawkers, whatever you want to call it, that they're calling it derogatory statements when we're all going, hey, we're just trying to help, keep attention on this. So maybe if this fame hungry individual has to see that home to fuel the flame and we snuff that out, it's going to cause some sort of panic. Like, I've got to see this. I need to see my craft. So maybe that person goes to the scene. Maybe that person is seen trying to get footage and whatever. And I promise you it's being monitored. And apparently there was a bunch of activity over the last few days, which in my opinion, I know some people were like, why did it take so long? What are they doing now? I'm like, there could be some activity that we're not aware of that happened around her home once the cameras left. And let's hope to God we're right, or that I'm right on this, that maybe they're.
Well, someone in the chat, I don't know if it's true, so this is not a vetted statement, but I've seen some of their comments. They seem to be right on a lot, that there is a new lead detective in charge now.
Yep.
And so that may have been the catalyst to, hey, let's go back to the scene.
Could be.
And that may have taken a week in the making to make sure that maybe he does things differently. He doesn't want a bunch of cameras out there in case he does find something different than they now have, which was zero. So I don't know.
And somebody in all caps is saying that I'm completely wrong, that only some of the charges were dropped. That's what I said. I didn't say they were all dropped. I said, and if I did, I apologize. I knew that there were still charges that were pending.
Hit the replay button here, Jess.
No, well then I'm very aware that there are still charges pending, and what they did was incorrect. I'm not giving anybody any leeway on this, that that they should have done what they did. I'm just saying there may be some things behind the scenes that don't make sense to us. That doesn't mean that it's legal and should have been done by any means. I just have a feeling that there may be some things that are way out there that we're not aware of.
Well, yeah, you were saying you felt like there was the activity we've seen over the last few days.
Criminal Network said I said it right. So thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know, but somebody I think really likes you, Alex, and was probably coming to your defense. And I appreciate that. This is a infuriating situation. So
I don't want Alex mad at me, but I thought for a second that Chris Nanos was in our chat.
For CN, you did not stop. Why would you egg him on?
Well,
Alex,
I don't know Alex that well, but I bet that logo is just for that.
Jiminy Christmas. So
I like that CN though.
See, cool. he's gonna not be so happy with you joking around about that.
Whatever.
Anyway,
he's a good guy.
We appreciate you, Alex, for stopping in and clarifying that. I appreciate it. I mean, I'm trying to be careful. I'm not in y'all's court hearings. I don't know what's happening.
Mistakes you want.
Yeah.
That way I'll look better.
Yeah. The DNA. The DNA news that's coming out, y'all, is crazy. Who is that?
Kelly Marie F9X.
Hi, Kelly Marie. Right. Thank you so much for subscribing or becoming a member.
I really appreciate it. With the members too.
Yeah, this has been really fun.
We've not rolled out everything we're going to do for the members because honestly, members, we are a member-supported programming channel. That's how this works, and we really appreciate it. But nothing's expected, but whatever is super appreciated because we have.
But we're subscriber supported most of all.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate just a subscribe and a like.
Let me just stop for just a second because I saw in the chat a few times, in fact, in some other very large streamers chats where people started talking about us because of the interview that we did. They were like, oh, we love Thornbridge X Unfiltered, but I can't afford to be a member anywhere, so I can't watch their stuff.
What?
And I got confused and I'm like, but if someone's charging you, hey, Vicky, please let me know, because that's not how we work. And so I come to find out what's very common right now. There's a little confusion all over YouTube, especially for people that aren't masters of the YouTube channel, the main channel, the home page of YouTube. It can default to the video menu up top instead of the home menu. If it defaults to the video menu, which is usually because you were on somebody else's channel on the video section, because they aren't a live streamer, they do mostly downloaded videos.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It comes back to our page and shows up at videos. And guess what YouTube stopped doing a few years ago? Anything that's alive that goes to VOD, which stands for video on demand, stays in the live menu section. So it doesn't populate the videos section. So if you go to the home page and it's on videos, it shows with nothing except for member videos, because we don't do those live yet. Those are recorded and we put them on there for the members of all the different tiers of membership.
Yeah, sometimes YouTube, I feel like, I don't know if I'm just getting older. I mean, our kids joke, I'm like, boomer. I'm like, I'm not a boomer, but I am getting older. So I don't know. I mean, there's some tech that I feel like I can't keep up sometimes. So yeah, so just scroll and look for live and our live videos.
The easiest thing to do is when you go to the home page, sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Hit the home button. It's the very first menu next to the videos is home. Click home, and then it's going to tell you all the lives that are coming up, because that I can control, and I've arranged our live menu system to be below that. So if we're on live, it'll say currently on. If we're coming up, it'll say what's scheduled, but mostly it's all the videos. And we appreciate you going and watching in replay too, because that helps us also. So anyway.
But thank you so much for everybody that likes and subscribes and wants to join us on Tuesdays and Saturday nights and occasional pop-ups. We really appreciate it. So the next graphic.
No, more.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we're Gen Xers, which are the besters. So
this is all your section, Jen.
All right.
This is a preamble to the other video and stuff that we have tonight.
Okay, so the suspect, if they're overseas, and this came up a couple times, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. If this suspect is overseas, how extradition works. So again, this is for our Spotify listeners. We're reading a graphic. If the person is in Mexico or Italy or Arizona must follow a formal process. Charge and warrant rather. Arizona files criminal charges and gets an arrest warrant. That's the first step. Then the next step would be the DOJ review. This is where the Justice Department's Office of International Affairs reviews the request. Then it goes to provisional arrest, which can be requested while the full extradition package is prepared. Then you have a foreign court review. I mean, there's a lot of hoops. The court determines if the treaty and the law requirements are met. And then they can be returned for prosecution. If approved, the person is then returned to the U.S. for a trial. And thank you so much, Jody Lynn. I'm so happy that she joins us. She's always such a happy person. So I appreciate Jody Lynn, you being in our chat and doing that. We appreciate your super chat. So if they're in Italy, it may require assurance that the death penalty will not be imposed or carried out. Mexico requires assurance that the death penalty will not be imposed. So rule of specialty, you can only prosecute for the charges approved in extradition. So the question would be, should Arizona give up the death penalty to get the defendant back? I mean, that's not it for us. We don't live in Arizona. So that's just a question that came up a couple times when I was searching. Now, the reason I brought this up, and we have a little video here, is I thought this was very interesting.
You want the video?
No, I want my face. So I want them to see us. You've got the So this is interesting. My sister and I were talking. So if Heather, if you're still listening, thank you for telling me about this. So in Texas, there was a man who unfortunately committed on his wife who was pregnant in Texas. And he escaped to Italy. And Italy was in question because of their extradition laws, which would prevent him from getting the death penalty in Texas. And it would also prevent him from having life in prison without parole. So I found that very interesting. And right now, if you Google that case, it's going through some hoops. A lot of hoops are coming up right now for them to jump through to get this guy back and nabbed and prosecuted. Welcome so much, Christine. Thank you so much for subscribing. We appreciate it. So Glenn is going to play you a little clip that that I sent him for
We're
about
doing that
yeah.
before the. Okay.
An American fugitive on the run inside an Italian courtroom today, professing his innocence. My wife is dead, Lee Gilley told the judge, and they wrongly blamed me. Gilley fled the U.S. on May 1st, according to a criminal complaint in U.S. District Court, cutting off his court-ordered ankle monitor just before he was set to stand trial for strangling his pregnant wife Krista to death in 2024. The criminal complaint stating Gilley landed in Milan on May 3rd, where he presented a fake Belgian passport. He was then taken into immigration custody according to the filing, where he admitted who he was, and American authorities were alerted. At today's hearing in Milan, Gilley did not consent to an extradition, telling the judge he would like to remain in Italy because of the lifestyle, the culture, the international protection, and to receive a fair trial. In Texas, Gilley could face the death penalty if convicted. I fled to avoid being killed, he said. I went to great lengths to escape and seek protection in Italy.
Negli Stati Uniti, oggetto di una campagna mediatica.
His attorney in Italy telling NBC News he has been subject to a media campaign that would not have allowed him to obtain a truly fair trial. His wife, Krista Gilley, was found unresponsive in the couple's Houston home in October 2024, according to officials, after police received a call about a suicide. But her death was ruled a homicide due to compression of the neck. Within days, Gilley was arrested, charged with capital murder. A car was seen being towed from his home last week after his escape. The Harris County District Attorney's Office telling People magazine they are working with the U.S. and Italian authorities and remain committed to pursuing justice. Gilley's attorney in the murder trial told People magazine he was unaware his client had left the country and told a local ABC affiliate he was concerned the move could be seen as a consciousness of guilt. Gilley's U.S. attorney and the Harris County DA's office did not return NBC News' request for comment. A gag order is now in place.
Priscilla is joining us now for more on this. So, Priscilla, presumably this murder trial cannot move forward now until the extradition issue gets sorted, right?
Exactly, Hallie. And Gilley's attorney here in the U.S., before that gag order was issued, had said that Italian authorities could say that Texas prosecutors must take the death penalty off the table before they agree to extradition. Now, Harris County District Attorney's Office has not yet said whether or not they intend to pursue the death penalty in this case. But of course, Gilley's attorney in Italy says that they have not yet received that request to extradite him from the DOJ, and thus we have not heard from Italian authorities on what they plan to do with all of this. Hallie?
Seriously. I think I saw in the chat coward. I don't know of a better word. It's just unbelievable. So her poor family, her poor community, it's a nightmare. And here is Texas trying to figure this out, get him back. And I just thought it was interesting that that Italy came up because I've heard it being rumored a couple times in this case. And, you know, again, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. It's just kind of interesting to think that what if somebody did go to Italy like this man did? I didn't even know about Italy being a country that seems to be of consideration to get away with homicide. Unbelievable. The other one is Mexico. So I have a couple graphics to go with that. So for Italy, this is a little more laid out. So I think you have that graphic for me. Yep. So if someone goes to Italy and now we know that they're guilty of homicide, let's see, we try to get them back to the US. Well, this, you know, this is, I kind of worked it out so that it's for Texas and Arizona so that we can kind of look at how maybe the different laws work out. But how it works, the US DOJ sends the extradition request. Italian courts review the treaty and the charge. Italy may require sentencing assurances, which I thought was very interesting. So they're going to require either Texas in this case, or, you know, if this ever happened in Arizona, then they would require you to give them sentencing assurances. Like, in other words, you're not going to change your sentencing. If approved, the suspect is returned to the requesting U.S. state. Love the colors, go Dogs. Thanks, Patriot Pride. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I hope we've been saying prayers for Mike's father. I hope everything is improving. Why it can stall. So the death penalty concerns, are why it can stall it. So if they're saying there's a death penalty, which they are in Texas, then it can stall the case. Life without parole concerns, appeals in Italian courts. So not only are they trying to just get him back to the U.S., extradite him, and just move forward with this case, now you're having to deal with a whole other country and their nose in our business. But it is what it is. This is part of the process. So Texas versus Arizona, there's no separate treaty by state, which I didn't know. I thought there might be. So I wanted to put that up here. I think I had a misconception that there might be different treaties by state, but it's only country. So Italy extradites to the U.S. through the federal process. The key issue is the possible punishment. Texas has capital murder, death, or life without parole. Arizona homicide cases can still raise death or no release concerns. So the bottom line is there's no Texas versus Arizona loophole. The charge and possible punishment matter most. Friendly reminder, TBX family, please refrain from barking or saying go dogs in the chat. Let's keep it respectful and stick with Roll Tide. Thank you for helping keep the...
I can't believe you read that.
Gee, I wonder where our mod is from, folks. Roll Tide just for our mod. But I will say, go dogs, because we love you, Patriot Pride. So isn't that kind of interesting where we're at with all of this, with the extradition? I mean, this is why people get so frustrated about how long cases take. It's nauseating. It's annoying. And now that we're an instant society, I feel like we have even less patience. But the next graphic is a little more about Mexico versus...
So that was Italy.
That was Italy.
Now we're doing...
with a little bit of, Texas versus Arizona. So extradition from Mexico to the U.S., here's the key facts. Again, I'm reading this for our Spotify viewers or listeners. Our son who said, please read. Legal basis governed by the 1978 extradition treaty between Mexico and the United States. It's not automatic. Every U.S. extradition request must follow strict legal procedures. They must respect human rights protections under Mexican law. Rights protected, which would be individuals can challenge extradition through the constitutional appeals and Mexican courts. So again, another thing to hold things up. Common offenses: narcotics trafficking, organized crime, financial fraud, corruption, and violent offenses. So double criminality, the act must be a crime in both Mexico and the U.S. Prevents being tried twice or punished twice for the same offense, i.e. double jeopardy. Prohibition of political offenses. Extradition cannot be granted for political crimes. Sufficient evidence. The U.S. must provide evidence that justifies the request. Human rights review. Extradition can be denied if there is a risk of torture, inhumane treatment, or unfair trial. Final decision made by the Mexican Supreme Court after a full legal review. So it's a very complex process, and early legal defense is critical for anybody that's involved in something like this. So it's kind of interesting.
Interesting take on things. Maxi Doodle says, maybe Nano's to fly like a fox. Nothing to see here. When we say that, until he comes back from Italy, if he's trying to... I
don't know how people know that they're for sure there. I'm just curious, but I haven't either. But if that's
out there,
if that's the case, that's really interesting. I just thought it was even more interesting that it happened to be, Major Jammer. Thank you for the super chat. $10 Roll Tide.
I don't know why I didn't show
Oh my gosh. I think it showed up here probably when we were doing our graphic and I missed it.
That's probably true. Sorry.
I'm so sorry if I missed it. So what if you are not a citizen of the US, but a citizen of Mexico, or vice versa, or a dual citizen? I think that's what it was saying, Libby. And thank you so much for joining us. I really enjoy the information you share on X. That's what they're saying, is that if you're a Mexico citizen and they want to extradite you back here, it has to be a crime in both countries that they agree is the same It has to be a crime in both countries. So once that's established, then they show the evidence, show the proof, and can extradite. So it just gets very tricky and delayed. It's just to me, it's sickening that that could even be a potential, especially like this. I'm not calling him a gentleman. He's a piece of crap. The one in Texas, that who does that? But I think again, we're talking about the very vulnerable. She was pregnant. That was her husband. This is an elderly woman who was living in the same home, for 40 something years of her life. I can't even believe it. Anyway, but let's just hope that they figured this out, and let's hope that they haven't escaped the country, whoever they are, because it could really, really delay things. And then it could be probably a stronger burden of proof to even extradite. So, we're here, we have enough probable cause, and we can say, look, we're arresting you, we're bringing you in, we're holding you because we've got enough on you. But they can't do that if they're in another country. They're gonna have to show a lot of proof that they know that this person did something before they can get them back for questioning. Is my understanding. So yes, you guys, I'm from Alabama. That's funny. We appreciate our mod more than ever. So it's just kind of an interesting take on this all, is wondering what evidence they're looking for, what evidence they need. I personally believe that that's why there's been a lot of silence. I do still find it interesting, you guys, that there's still people saying that Pima County is in charge. And as I said at the beginning, if you're just joining us, I called KOLD, and the reason I called them was because they hold the ransom letters. They are the people that have been dealing directly with the FBI that are on top of this case. So I told them that I'd received information from those, the people in Mexico, that I thought was a little too specific. And I wanted to make sure it got into the right hands so that somebody could check it out in a fairly timely manner. I was very afraid after my phone call with the FBI of being put to the bottom of the pile. Like I think most people have written us that have called the FBI have had, unfortunately, a similar experience. And one person that we talked to today said, do you have any idea the type of calls that they get? And I said, I get it. I said, Glenn and I discussed this with our son, who's a first responder. They see the most horrible things ever. And then they have to clean themselves up, get back in their rigs, and hit the reset button, because the next scene that they go to is not the last scene. And I know that that's easier said than done. And expectations may be high for those of us that are calling the FBI and just asking for a little, I don't know, dignity and respect. But I am also not so naive that I don't understand that they're getting ridiculous phone calls. But that's not my job. That's their job. Their job is to be trained properly to handle ridiculous phone calls, and ridiculous phone calls that may actually be something that is necessary to be known in this case. So, like I've said many times, this isn't about me. I'm tough. I dust myself off. Wow, that was weird, and move on. The anger in my tone in regards to that FBI phone call was that, what if there's a mom? What if there's a granny? What if there's a scared cousin, sibling, coworker that knows that this person is involved and is trying to get up the guts to make the phone call, and they make the phone call and they get the guy that I got? How do you know that's real? Well, I'm not the FBI. You are. That's your job, not mine. I'm just giving you the information. So I just keep hoping that they're a little bit nicer. Now, when I called KOLD, couldn't have been more of a 180. Completely kind, completely respectful. I appreciate this information so much. We actually do have a direct connection to the FBI because we have been given the notes. Let me take down your information confidentially, and I will get that to them. I said, well, you can give them my name, but please, don't put this out in the public. And, we're going to have it out eventually, it sounds like, unless I get communication otherwise, which I did not, which is why we went public with it. So what was interesting is I asked her why she was giving it only to the FBI, because I said, did you give it to Pima County? And she said, no. And I said,
That's weird.
Why? I thought that they were they were in the main chair in this case. And she said, yeah, that's been a little weird that we keep hearing that in the news, but the FBI is in charge of this case. And I said, wait a minute. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm not questioning you. I'm just saying I'm a little confused by the public, information that's been going out by mass media, large media, saying Kash Patel being interviewed, saying we're in an assist position. We've always been in an assist position. And that was like, 2 or 3 weeks, I guess, before our interview.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So then she says, yeah, we're a little confused by that information as well. But they're in first position. The FBI is. We've been told any information that comes into our station needs to go directly to the FBI. So then we saw a news conference where Kash Patel said Nanos has a right to run his own investigation. And I thought that's a very interesting way to word it. In other words, I think that was his way of saying we're in charge, but we're running parallel investigations. So at this point, I think that's why there's been a lot of silence. And I think Nano's coming out and trying to do press conferences and releasing the notes. I will tell you that this isn't talking out of school. I mean, she said it to me. She didn't say confidentiality is key here. KOLD said that they were not happy about the notes being released. They were asked specifically by the FBI to keep them quiet under investigation for obvious reasons that we've all heard in the news, is that there's 2 notes that they deemed to be still part of the investigation and potentially true. So I think it was unfortunate that they were leaked, if this is true, what they told me at KOLD, that they were asked explicitly to keep them quiet. And then Nanos talked about them. And then Nanos has multiple interviews, one after the other. So that kind of was telling to me.
Well, a lot of people are saying it's the 6-month thing, and he needs to make the tour again to appease everybody. And I'm like, no, because you do that every few weeks, and it should be, a PIO that does it, not the sheriff.
Correct.
As he always refers to, if you notice when he's talking, he always says the sheriff, referring to himself, which is.
Does he really? I don't think I've ever noticed that.
Yeah.
Does he really?
It's not like they need to do that for the sheriff. He talks like that, which.
How odd.
I also didn't realize he's like 4'2" or something.
What does that matter?
Well, I know nothing. It's just, I thought he was like, 6 foot tall guy because he's always sitting behind the desk. And then I realized he stands on something at the podium and he got off of it one time and he hit his nose on the podium. And I went, wow, he's a little guy. Which I am too. I'm probably shorter than he is, but whatever. It's just
dynamite comes in small packages.
But I don't know. That was my way.
He's definitely making explosions happen all over Tucson. So,
but nothing wrong with being short because my family's short.
So, from what I understand, and I think there's been questions about that. What I said to KOLD is, I said, my understanding is that if the FBI is in charge, then that would mean that it has gone federal, or federal meaning it has gone either national or international. In other words, it's left the state. And she said it would seem that way. And I said, so you can't really tell me anything. She goes, it would seem that way. So I guess I'm a little, I want to get more clarification on that. I'm not a lawyer, but my understanding was that the FBI can take over an investigation when it has, like, the person has been abducted and it has left the state or has left the country. So I guess we'll see. But I'm again, I'm not an attorney. I'm just repeating what was said to me by KOLD. So we'll see what ends up coming up with coming out of all of it, I guess. So did I have anything else after that?
I don't know. I was just wanted to know. I don't think so.
Okay.
The one thing is there is one more slide though.
Okay.
But it's basically just kind of a summary of what we were just talking about. So that was about the extradition and that kind of thing. So this just kind of, goes back to what we're talking about tonight is what's the most likely reason for no arrest? Because, well, if they do know who it is or have a good idea or actually do have at least a list, because I think that it's interesting, going back to what we were talking about earlier, not that much earlier, just a few minutes ago, that the sheriff is all of a sudden, I'm going to help him. The sheriff has been on the world tour with all these different interviews.
He's being facetious. We're not trying to, it's like, look, we love all law enforcement. We're very supportive, but this guy, I mean, you're joking around saying I'm trying to help him. It's just
trying to help you, buddy. He needs a PIO, which apparently he has one. And I heard last week that he has a very good one because there's a couple of PIOs. Hey, Elaine.
Thank you so much for becoming a member. We really appreciate it.
Apparently, there's a couple PIOs that are professional PIOs for bigger departments that know the PIO there. I've seen him in action on other cases that he's really good or she's really good. So I don't know why he's not using it. But anyway, I think that it's interesting that the sheriff all of a sudden comes out this week and has so much to say. But the key things that he said, I mean, we're all just talking about how he stumbled on his words and all this stuff. Well, I mean, you got a camera shoved in your face like I do right now. Yeah, sometimes you go, wait, what was I saying? I mean, it is what it is. But his key things he wanted us to know or repeated, I know you said he only said it on the NBC, but whatever, he said it on they're a national news organization.
Agreed.
That the family has nothing to do with this. They're victims. That was number one. Number two was that these other two characters, at least, that he said we had suspicion, we had the probable cause to go talk to them, which they did. And
thank you so much.
They've did what they were supposed to do with these people, and now they've moved on, but they are not basically, cleared.
They're cleared to a point.
Yeah, well, that was the attorney saying they're cleared to a point. He didn't say that. So they're not cleared, correct?
Right.
So people aren't cleared. I thought that was kind of strange. And like the attorney for Carlos said, we watched him on a few times, but I rewatched it today. He said, he's not doing my client any favors.
Thank you.
So, AK, thank you. So he's not doing my client any favors. Like we're in the middle of trying to clear our client. Now we're suing you, and you come out and say that he's not a cleared. It's like you're not doing any favors. And it's like, well, yeah, okay, we got a super chat here. So let's read this.
All right.
This one's getting read twice, just so you know. I just wanted to say thank you to Jen and Glenn for all the time you put into the case and presenting what you do for us. Keep up the good work. You guys are amazing.
Thank you so much, Lisa Klein. That is really nice of you.
My goodness.
Wow. We really appreciate
what's
that.
Interesting is I was joking around earlier saying I haven't slept in 3 weeks or 3 months. We really haven't slept in a few weeks. Now, some of that's my fault.
There's people in the chat that know.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to bed. I know you're up. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's part of the reason. Because we just want to get back to everybody. So we were doing all the comments, and actually we enjoy that part. I enjoy reading it. And you know what? There's lots of nasty comments in there too. I love those too. If you don't like us, you don't have to tell us, but it doesn't bother us either. We're very thick-skinned. Well, I'm very thick-skinned. There's not much you can say to me that I don't already know about myself. So whatever.
No, honestly, I mean, I think it was funny because our sons prepared us that, look, there's trolls, whatever. Honestly, after both lives, I think I only had 3 on the first, the second, and then 4 on the last one.
There's some comments that come up.
Who cares?
And honestly, if they're really nasty, I have to delete them because we can't have them on our channel. But if they're just bad comments, we leave them up there, and we just
bad. Sometimes people disagree, and that's
well, no, disagreeing is fine.
Yeah.
But calling, not even us, calling other people out of whatever, that's not okay. And
thank you so much, Tammy.
We're trying to build an audience with Major Rammer Jammer's help. We're doing it. The people that are not all the names that we know, Blue Eyes, Alta. I'm just looking down here. Kawasaki, I see a lot. We know who you guys are because we go back and watch and go, oh, look what they're, and there's so many smart people in here.
Yeah, we see Kuna Berger, Cindy Lou, we see Jody Lynn, Brenda Walsh. We see all these awesome names that we see in other chats. I can't thank you guys enough. EAM is a lot.
Strength, of
Chris
course, she's doing so much for us.
Maga Mama, oh my gosh. Some of you are so overwhelmingly kind and supportive. I kind of joke and say, when you go to a restaurant and you have a great experience, do you get in the car and immediately text that restaurant and go, you guys did a great job. Thank you so much for an amazing experience tonight. No, you go in when your sandwich was burned, your your meat came out undercooked. We take to the keyboard when we want to complain.
I know what you're
And
saying. So when you get a compliment,
so
that's a
my
big deal.
goodness, when people take the time to take to the keyboard for a compliment, it means that much more. And I really do feel like Glenn's saying something that has been important to us. We wanted to build a community that wanted to share information in a fact form. We don't mind theory. We want to talk about theory, because how else do you freaking solve a case without talking about theories? Now, having said that, there's some that by some perception, including my own, may be a little out there. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. Here's the deal. At the end of this, I think we're all going to be surprised at what
Major.
the actual deal is. Okay, super sticker from Major.
He wanted you all to smash the like button.
Oh, thank you so
for Jen and
much.
Glenn.
Yeah, I think
All the hard work. Glenn is a beast with the graphics, Janet.
we have
With the facts. That's
1,288 people in here, and we have 776 likes. If we could make it to 1,000 likes
my God,
tonight,
we
we
love
would
you guys.
be so grateful. And I know sometimes it's a pain in the butt because you have to X out of this, figure out where I don't know why YouTube doesn't make it easier to, smash a like.
Yeah,
It's like
you
when
hit
you're
the
on
like button,
TV,
it
you've got
helps
to
us
push
more
the
than
down
anything,
thing,
honestly.
go over. And it's like, oh, geez.
And also, so you
But
know,
I'm happy to do it for all the YouTubers I watch.
we have some music available on the website for free.
Thank you so much.
And you can just click and play it. I could put it in the merch store where you can download it for free.
Major
But
song?
Major Rammer Jammer wrote a little song for Thornbridge TBX. And
Oh, you guys,
it's awesome. I love that
we
thing.
have the best mod ever.
Yeah.
He's like always telling us, I'm going to tell on you, Major, a little bit. He talked to me the other day and he said, I want to thank y'all. You guys are building an awesome community here. And this has all been because we got started with the Patriot Pride community. And the Patriot Pride community is not only patriots that support patriots and those that are, keeping our freedom where we like it. And don't always come home in the best of shape. His nephew, Ryan King, is a Gold Star recipient, and his family is carrying on his memory by doing the Patriot Pride cause, which helps out other veterans, even current military families. So we supported them, and I think we got a lot of their community over here. But also, I believe that there's, people that maybe haven't been to Patriot Pride that we're hearing about that are coming here. And I think it's because, look, we listen to all theories. We appreciate all YouTubers out there that are putting out the good fight, whether it's actual boots on the ground. Welcome so much. Thank you for subscribing. But also, getting good information and factual information. And we appreciate you, the viewers that have joined us 2 days a week and then continue to join us, whether it's in emails or comments, and tell us how much you like us, or, hey, I have another theory, or I'm not sure I really agreed with that. Can I put my opinion here and see what you think? Which I like that we can have adult conversations, even disagreements, and still go have a sandwich together, or still come back here on Tuesday nights and Saturday nights and enjoy each other. And, it's okay to disagree. We can all be mature about it. Because this is a case that none of us know what's really going on. We have a lot of thoughts on what we think is going on, who may be involved, who may not be involved. And, but the biggest point here is Nancy's voice that's been silenced. And let's try and find Nancy. And if that's through the Tucsonans that watch all of us YouTubers, that feel a safe place to write us and say, can I bounce something off of you? Who should I call? That's what we're here for. Call the FBI for one thing, even though they may be a jerk, you need to call them. But there's other avenues too, that maybe some of us can, we're not 911. So, by all means turn in those tips. But if you need to bounce things off of people, that's what we're here for too. Thank you so much, Melinda. So
yeah, it's just, we get inundated with the tip email, and you can actually go to the website, maybe a little easier. Oh, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. We have a new member.
Awesome. Inner Circle.
Aridella.
So please go to the website and use that to submit your tips. It actually just sends us an email, but it makes it easier for you to not have to open your email, type it, whatever. And it has a little form you can fill out if you want. You can do, but either way is fine. And then the comments on the community page and the YouTube channel page that we have, we love it.
Hey, Danny.
You can actually comment on the actual individual videos. There's so many ways to do it. And we just appreciate all of it.
Thank you so much, Penny.
We appreciate the likes. We appreciate the subscribes.
Subscribing and liking is all we need.
Yeah. Everything. Well, we appreciate all of it.
All the
None
comments.
of it's expected, but extremely appreciated.
Yes. I mean,
sure.
This whole YouTube thing is an interesting world, and it's opened up a lot of things. Back to your Nanos comment on the PIO, I thought this was something you all would find interesting. There's another case that we've been researching, and I wanted to speak to an investigator. It's actually what I would consider a cold case, and I guess there's a lot of terminology that I was not aware of. I thought if it's 30-something years old, it's a cold case. I was told it was an active investigation, which to me said it wasn't cold. And I guess there's a few different terms that somebody made me aware of today that it can still be a cold case, but still active, which was interesting. But he said, you know what, as much as I know a little bit about this case, because I called directly to the police department that's involved. And he said, let me pass you over to the PIO. She's a great person. She's the one that deals with stuff like this. She can answer some questions. And if there's something that she feels like maybe better answered by one of the investigators, she will absolutely get you connected. And I went, isn't that interesting? The PIO, not the sheriff. So I don't know why we're not using the PIO except for the obvious.
Well, I thought maybe
I'm the sheriff. Look at me. I'm so awesome. That's my Sheriff Nano song. I should start writing for a living, shouldn't I? Stop looking at me like that.
you sang on the last episode. We got like 40 emails. You should sing more.
Oh, stop. You're lying. We did not. If anything, somebody said it was hilarious because we were singing about Kathy Lee's song. So it was not 30 emails. You're lies.
But anyway.
Yeah,
I agree. I think that, well, talking to the gentleman today, how do you say it? I want to say Tucsonian. Why can't I say
I think it's Tucsonan.
Tucsonan?
Mm-hmm.
Tucsonan. We're supposed
to. Thank you, Kawasaki. She said, let's all subscribe. We appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. Somebody just listened.
Thank you so much.
I think that he suffers from a very bad publicity right now. And
which would help with the PIO.
I'm going to get a sentence out.
Just messing with you.
If he had a PIO, is what I've been thinking all along. But he has one. Apparently he has two, actually.
Yes.
And they're apparently very good at their job. And think about this. You go through your law enforcement career, which is not an easy career. You start off as, usually working in a jail. And we know this because a lot of our friends and family are police officers. And then you get to, actually work the beat, so to speak. And then one day you can make it to be a detective. And then maybe you become lateral ton of moves and do things in the office. Like even Brian, he had enough of the homicide department and decided to just do the white collar crime unit or whatever they call it up there in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And had a storied career with that too. We used to joke and say he now writes the trash truck because that's how they get a lot of their evidence is through people's trash apparently. But anyway, I digress.
Put it out there. It's public.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about him doing the trash trucks.
Yeah. Oh, well. Go on.
No, that was it.
So anyway, you finally get to the position where you are a PIO for a department like Tucson, where the Tucsonans live. And you do these cases, and your job is to be on the airwaves sometimes. A lot of the jobs most of the jobs probably not that. But then this case comes up, the case of all cases that's going to blow your career up. And you're going to, not that, we worry about that. We're all worried about finding Nancy. But still, high profile case. You've been dreaming about this day. And all of a sudden, your boss, Sheriff Nanos, that's my favorite way. What's his name that says that?
Oh, he says Nanos Banana Ramsey case.
Yeah.
That's Zach
Zach
Peters.
Peters,
He's
he calls
freaking
it
hilarious.
Nanos.
Yeah.
Says to you, sorry, I'm taking this from you. And he's been doing it for 6 months. We haven't even seen the PIO officer. Now, why does that matter? Well, a PIO officer doesn't accidentally give us unredacted notes, doesn't say stupid things like all the stupid things that he has said up front. Remember the timeline, all those pieces of evidence that came out at first, and then all of a sudden they were changed. I remember that was driving you crazy because she's a detail person, and she's like, "That's not what he said a few minutes ago or a few days ago." I'm like, "Whatever," because at first time, we don't know that this guy can't handle what he's doing apparently, and now hearing today that gentleman that you were talking to, he was like, "I was a Nanos fan. I voted for him," and now they've lost their way. And these are people that live there. Now, that's one of about two or three that we know. I'm sure that doesn't represent all of the people that live there. But when you're talking to people that are actually residents of the area that voted for him and now they're feeling something different, I think it kind of tends to make you feel like what you've been feeling, all of the people I know and a lot of the people that are here tonight, that there may be a problem there. And he's the foundation of this whole case. We can say, oh, no, he's got someone that's, the lead detective or whatever, which apparently he just replaced because his lead detective in this case had never had a murder case at this level before. Wasn't it his first one?
I think so. Or I think the supervisor had one.
Yeah, supervisor, is that what Anyway, mistakes have been made. And we know that mistakes are made on all of these. I mean, there's no perfect case probably run. If there was, congratulations to whoever did that. But there's probably no perfect case. But I think we're beyond that now with this. I feel like there was so much mistakes made at the beginning. And someone in our chat, or I don't know if it was an email that was sent to us, it's all blurred to me now because like Jennifer was saying, it was just, we're so overwhelmed with so many people that are subscribed and lots of members now. And people that disagree with us can do it in a way that we've learned some things too. We're not,
Thank you so much, Catherine.
But basically I'm just blown away. I'm blown away that, his mishandling of this case has gotten to a point now, and here we are 6 months later. As I was going to say, is that many people have said that it's 6 months now. We understand they can't release certain details. Maybe it was you that was saying this. You didn't understand, but it's 6 months later, and you're saying you don't have anybody. Can you give us a little bit more? Is there more video? We know there's more video because they now have admitted that the one still picture is from before the video. So I guess my question is, how do people feel? Don't you feel like, not that they owe us anything, but we're all out here beating our brains out, just trying to get to some kind of, more pushing this further down the road to help this woman get found, and it's just to a point now where I'm so tired of Sheriff Nanos coming on and giving us more questions than answers. It's not always this way. We follow a lot of cases, and sometimes I'm really surprised at the way that the police department runs. Koberger, mistakes were made, but they were small. They protected the scene, and they had their man. We didn't even know it. They were, doing things and lying to us and all that, but for good reason, I guess. And look what happened. There's all of a sudden we found out how great they were, and then we found out it was good police work that solved that case. Now, I'm not disparaging the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I'm just saying it starts at the top. Who do you blame? The leader. His name is Sheriff Nanos. I don't know him personally, and I'm not making any personal attacks on him. I'm just saying, is it time maybe you hand this over to a PIO so that we have an avenue for at least the major media networks, the ones that are not independent coverage like we are, the ones that aren't member supported like we are, that can get in there and ask some questions and maybe even take a few of the larger streamers and have them in, because damn it, we're out here working too. In fact, I will say we're working 7 days a week trying to figure this thing out. And we come on here for a few hours at night and get with you guys and try to, we're monitoring the chat and we watch it afterwards. We look at the comments. Somewhere in all of this, it's not just us, somewhere between all these major streamers and Jennifer and a little bit of Glenn, this is going to get figured out. It is going to be solved. I'm convinced it's going to be solved. super chat. Got to read it.
The room is listening. Thank you for what you two are doing. I appreciate you. Thank you, Susie. That is
See,
really nice of
that
you.
right there is,
Wow.
and it's not just us. It's Chris at the interview room, Josh. Start naming some of these.
Yeah, the
Definitely
lab.
Patriot Pride. I mean,
Yep.
all the right reasons for
Monks.
sure.
Yep.
Monks. Gosh, there's so many. I know we're going to
Well,
leave a
Crime
bunch out.
Crunchies, we're going to be on
Crime
her show on
Crunchies.
Friday. Yep.
You gotta sub up over at Crime Crunchy. What is it? Crime Crunchies with Courtney C.
And then we've also
She's
got
awesome.
the Brew Crew, Beyond the 5-0.
Wait, stop at
And-
Brew Crew, because I watch him religiously. He just got a new backdrop in his.
I know, I love it.
And the reason to watch Brew Crew, you got to add him to your repertoire, as my grandfather used to say, is because he is the adult in the room. And, you know, a lot of people have a lot of experience with what they're doing, and they come on here as retired people and have their channels, and it's just awesome. But not only is he a retired police officer, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's also a judge.
Well, he was a sheriff.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
thought
he was
just-
retired sheriff, and now he's a judge. Yeah, he's Judge Brewer
Don't you just love that
in
guy?
Texas.
I mean,
Love him.
and he literally gets
I've
on
been
there,
following him for a while.
and he's
now.
not 3 or 4 hours long. He's like 40 minutes of hard facts and then awesome questions that make your brain go, oh,
Thank
wow.
you.
Just his experience. Amazing. And what is his handle? Is Brew Crew.
Yep, Beyond the 5-0, I think is what it is.
But if you just put Brew Crew in there,
You'll find him. Yep.
Definitely sub up with him. And who else were you saying?
Somebody else said Boomer. Yes, I've seen his show.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. I saw it like once, and I think it was when we were looking at Crime Crunchies.
He's gonna
Yeah,
be big, I think.
we
He's
need
kinda
to
the same
we need
thing,
to
a lot of
follow him because I liked his information. I think that's why a lot of people are joining us, and we appreciate the feedback from that. We've had, in fact, our feel good tonight is going to be the thank yous from you guys that I wanted to share. So if you haven't joined us before, then you won't know this. But when we talk about things like this that get our blood pressure up, what is this? We know what we
No, I
know.
wasn't interrupting with that.
Oh,
It was just something I wanted everybody else to read it while you.
yeah, exactly. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, when he talks, I to your point, I feel like we get a lot more questions, but I also feel like he has. I would love to play poker with him because I stink at it, but I have a feeling I would totally win with him playing because he has the worst tells on the planet. It's
You
like,
always say that. You always.
oh my God. I mean, it could be, next month. It could be 50 years. In other words, they're close. Okay. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're really close. The only reason he threw in the 50 years is because he went, crap. I told him again. It could be next month. And then
He's like his own little clickbait.
He is.
You have to watch him when he comes on, and then you're so upset that you did
so
afterwards.
Tommaso was the one that dropped her off at the house 24 hours later. Let's just go with family. Well, we're going to know it's Tommaso.
That was the first thing
Oh,
that you were like, oh, what in the world? You
Freaking
can't
a million
change
of
that.
them.
You already told us.
Well, I mean, what was there forced entry? We're not going to talk about that. Okay. Well, I don't know. So that means there probably wasn't, because if there was forced entry, why wouldn't they just tell us there was forced entry? What are the other ones? I know there's so many. It's annoying, but I feel like that's why the FBI went, shut your mouth, and probably shut him down. And it was like, you're saying too much.
And
because
that probably wasn't helpful for their
so I'm
relationship.
like, get out the poker chips. Because I'm telling you,
Well,
what did I tell you guys?
Yeah.
I told you guys that those signs
you did.
were absolutely on purpose and not for the only reason of getting rid of people that we care about, that are trying to care about Nancy and keep her name in the public. I absolutely knew that they were going to start doing searches or something. Something was happening. And if it was going to be, I personally also thought something was going to pop off, and then news media is going to show up and they're, they just want to lock that whole block down. But what happened? They started searching.
But again, we brag on Jennifer again. I think people like
nobody believes you.
Well, this is my life. My wife comes up with what seems to be the most insane, crazy idea of something in the news, something that we're researching. And I'm like, whatever. I mean, I'll look it up because, and it's kind of like having to watch Nanos over and over again and then regretting that you did that. It's the same thing. I always go, what do you mean? They're putting the signs up because they had some YouTubers out there in media. They don't want them parking and the neighbors are upset.
He actually got kind of upset with me.
Yeah.
You said, you're wrong.
Wrong. And then she's like, no, those signs are up because something's going down. There's something going on. They're going to be back out there. Something's happening. This was 4 days ago. And of course, then, in some chats, I see her chatting away because we follow, we're big fans of a lot of other independent coverage, member supported programming. And I'm trying to change the term YouTuber because apparently Savannah doesn't like YouTubers. So all we got to do is say we're not YouTubers. So anyway,
take the high road, Glenn.
She says all these things and they always end up, then all of a sudden everyone in the chat's going, no, Jen, that can't be why this is that, the other, whatever, no way. Bing, bada, bow, bada, boom. And then all of a sudden today, we're sitting down here doing show prep and research for a few episodes from now even. And bang, there the cops are rolling up and JLR is all over it.
Yeah, he's crazy. Like, they're in and out of the neighborhood for the last 3 or 4 days.
Can you read that?
So thank you so much at Lyquist or Lequist. The room is listening. I am also convinced that it will be resolved, but the outcome may not be what the majority expected. I agree with that.
So true.
Like I said, I think we're all going to be surprised no matter what.
It's probably so simple. It's the pool guy's cousin that was informed by the pool guy, who's a good guy, just was talking to his cousin who's not a good guy. And he went, hey, I can make money here. Boom. She passes away, or maybe hopefully not, but whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that would be it, because if she was still alive, they would have continued the
But the problem is we don't know. I think that's why the FBI has been quiet. I think that's why Nanos is chatting, because he's not involved. He's not as involved. I mean, I think they're obviously informing him of things, but it's a parallel investigation is what I understand, and not a conjunction. So he's got to make himself look important somehow. So let's have some press conferences. I mean, we don't know what you know. And it's just, ugh.
I had to put that up because of that cute little doggy.
Yeah, how cute. You guys are smart. Thanks for bringing hope back to you. Oh, thank you, Kawasaki. That's really nice of you. Oh my gosh, I don't know if our kids agree, but anyway, we appreciate it. All right. So again, if you haven't followed us before, then I like to end on a positive note. There's a lot of negative stuff flowing around YouTube from all sorts of stuff. And from either not liking other YouTubers or being disrespectful. And I think it's hard sometimes to remember that there's a heck of a lot more positive on YouTube than there ever is negative. And I always told my kids when they were growing up that for every critique, remember the 10 positives that you got. And I know it's just human nature. We hear one critique or one negative, and you forget about the 25 positives that you just heard. So when we talk about negative things, like somebody possibly, being a victim of a homicide, let's end it on a positive note. So tonight, I want to read to you guys what you all have sent to us over the last the last week.
Are they the angry ones or the good ones?
Stop. We did not get
we don't get that many, but when we do, it's kind of like, wow.
Like I said, you have to remember the 25 positives for the one negative.
But yeah, let me just add on to that real quick, is that this is not fun for any member-supported programmer to have to deal with the details that we deal with. It's not fun for anybody in the chat. You're not here because it's fun. What's fun is to be in the chat and talking amongst all your friends and feeling like we're a family, because that's how we feel about you guys. Y'all are our extended family. I hope you feel that way about us, is that we're here we have a job to do, but besides the job, let's talk about things. And we can get a little personal here and there too, like we do. And we love learning about where people are from and all those things. Yeah. But we got to always end this night or our episodes and decompress a little bit. Don't think of all the negative stuff. The world is a beautiful place. Tucson is an extremely beautiful place if you've never been.
My grandparents lived 10 minutes from Nancy.
They'll heal from this.
They will.
The Tucsonans are, did I say it wrong again?
I don't know.
The Tucsonans or whatever, they'll get their city back. I know that a lot of people have been saying, oh, it's not like it was 20 years ago, which is true. It's not the same city. I don't think a lot of cities are. but they're going to get their way back from this. It's going to be solved. This is, me just putting that positive vibe out there. And so this was Jennifer's idea, is to have a, what we just,
Hester Prynne.
we call it the feels, just to kind of, let's all just turn our attention away, the relief of having to deal with these heavy, heavy subjects. And then when we're done with that, let's come back and we'll take a few questions in the chat.
Yeah,
And then
I would love that. Yep.
Now, I hope this works. This is something new for me. Jennifer's like,
So don't leave. We're going to take questions in a second. So
Jennifer says, can you put this together and do, and I'm always like, yeah, I'm going to figure it out. And
guys,
then
he's been working his freaking
she
tail
asked me
off
30
on
minutes
all of
before
this.
we started the show to do
Well,
this.
because I forgot. That's not your
So,
fault. And I said, if it doesn't
Adam,
work
you
out,
know
it
what I
doesn't
was
work
dealing
out.
with.
So
Yeah.
no, you're always accommodating, but I always tell you, if it doesn't work out, who cares? I'll sit here,
Like
sing a little
sound, what we
tune.
got on this evening. I don't
We'll
know
get
what that
Landon
was
to
about.
dance a little jig or something to put something positive, or maybe we'll get Bonnie. Where's Bonnie? She's adorable. Our little Westie. So,
Well, we have a new
and
thing.
for
that
those of
we're-
you that are joining us tonight that don't know us and think we're ridiculous, it's okay. We've been friends. We were friends for 3 years before we started dating. I asked him out. He didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. Then he said I was possibly ruining our friendship. I literally didn't call me for 2 weeks. I was one of the guys. We had 4 friends, and it was a group of 5 of us. I was one of the 5. And so 4 guys and 1 girl. And one of the guys was our friend from Italy, Luca. And he says,
Gianluca Fausti.
how come you're not coming to anything? And I said, well, what do you mean? That's my accent for Luca. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know. Something's wrong. You're not coming to anything. What's going on? I said, I asked Glenn out. He goes, I knew it. And I said, what? He goes, he's in love for you. I will fix this. So Luca fixed it. So anyway, we've been married now for a little over 26
It's
years
easy
now.
because we were married in the year 2000. So
So yep.
I always know.
But we've been
26 years.
been friends for, I guess, almost 30 years now. So anyway, you will always be my best friend besides Heather,
Speaking
sister.
of, well. But let me tell you that we are trying to something.
But we do fight, so it's all good because we were friends first.
Well, I don't fight. She just yells at me a lot.
Anyway, so here's enough of the
real
gross.
quick,
Let's
one
what?
little technical thing I wanted to show off is we have a little camera we can put around the studio to give them a little behind the scenes thing. So let me see if that works. See, here we are. You're behind us now, but you can see.
Thank you, Major Rammer Jammer, because he was flying solo tonight. Landon was not available.
That's the mod
So
desk.
that's the mod desk where Landon
That's
sits.
really where you're supposed to run the whole show from. But
And then the green room area is what you call that, the chairs. So anyway.
all right, Jen. So without
Now-
further ado,
And then we'll be back for questions, but I'm going to,
this is supposed to lightly play music, have a nice little scene for you to watch. It's actually, Jen took this today on her cell phone right out the back windows here.
because I couldn't believe it. I was sitting at the desk answering emails and they apparently just keep hanging out. So
But I think it only plays once. I don't know if it's going to roll through. So
thank you so much, Lazy Days. Michelle Lynn, 73. Your channel is so impressive. I appreciate the honesty and integrity. I can't wait to watch you grow. You work so well together, and it's a pleasure to watch you both. I am also so impressed with the website and the channel. Many blessings to you and your family. I told her that
my goodness,
I would tell you. And then at jc.832, y'all are doing a fantastic job. I love all your videos. And did you know that Chris from the interview room posted your interview video on X? I think that says a lot about how great you're doing. And yes, we did know that. And we can't thank Chris enough for stopping by, watching the video. And he also subscribed to our channel, which we're so honored to have him subscribe. And he said we're doing a great job. So we really appreciate that. Then we have Ferry Goggin. I love how podcast hosts are working together. I like Crime Chunkies and Courtney. We agree. And that's what makes the world go round, sharing each other. We don't mind if you share other YouTubers in the chat. That's what this is about. We're all in this together. Happy Click 7672 watching from Dallas, Texas. She said, thank you, Jennifer and Glenn, for your content on this case. You both are doing a wonderful job. Keep up the good work. Then I have at Jennifer Fletcher 5993. Absolutely loved your closing, Glenn. Your song was fabulous. Thanks to Major Rammer Jammer. I really enjoyed your show. You really do your homework. I'm so glad that you decided to start your TBX channel. I agree with your viewers. You have the classiest channel. You are both very positive and uplifting. Thank you so much. And then we have another comment that said, oh, shoot. Michelle Lynn, this one's getting red twice. Love you guys. Congratulations on your success. My gosh. Thank you so much, Michelle. Wow. So nice of you. And then we got another one from True BU. True BU is a name that I have heard many times in other chats. I've always loved her comments, and she took the time to come over and write a comment in our page unexpectedly and said, thank you so much for your work. As someone else mentioned, you do work well together. Excellent job on the website too, exclamation point. I love it in caps. The branding, the navigation, and usability. Keep up the great work, and you both are a great addition to our true crime community. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you very much. Wow.
And the last one is from Danielle or Danny D-Log, which I'm telling you what, she is constantly in our chat and our comments, so kind. And she says, I am here and I love your channel. You guys are going to do great. You definitely stand out from the others. And we want to say prayers for your husband, Danny. I hope that there's some improvement. Her husband was in the hospital, so everybody say some prayers for her husband and quick healing. And I have to do a special shout out to Bama Flowers, Alicia, Jaylene, Inner Strength, Truth Warrior. I'm telling you what, these people have just rallied for us when we needed help. And some of these people I had never met except seen them in chats. And I feel like they're now just a part of our little friend group here. Jaylene causes a little trouble in the chat because she's hilarious. And that's what this is about. I mean, we've got so many awesome casts of characters here, and we want to give a big shout out to Patriot Pride for helping us get our start on YouTube and being so respectful of us and our learning curve and trying to figure things out and helpful. And you guys have been amazing. So I hope that made you feel good a little bit at the end of the show, getting to see that cute little fawn running all over the dang place. He or she is freaking hilarious. And her mom is eating all my hydrangeas, but I don't care. So thank you so much. I am also convinced that it will be resolved, but the outcome may not be what the majority expected. Yes, LeeQuest. Yeah, we agree.
That's so true.
I think it's very true.
I think it's going to be shocking. Or maybe not. Maybe it's the most boring thing in the world. I don't know.
June Bruce said, I'm so glad I discovered this channel. Thank you so much, June. That really means a lot. She's another one that I've gotten a lot of messages from. So it's very sweet of you.
We're only 19 away from 1,000 likes, which we are so appreciative of every one of those.
Tigress.
All 981 of you that liked tonight.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, we've got 1,000 people watching. If we could get up to 1,000 likes, that would be really nice.
Now let's look through here.
Victoria Burgess. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Just trying to find.
I couldn't agree more with all the other comments. So classy. Excited to see more. Aussie Mom 2352. Oh, we love Australian Shepherds. So cute. Thank you so much.
Our cow dog here the other day. Our son has him now, but Ike.
Yep.
And he's a. What is he? He's
a blue heeler border collie mix, but the other one, Johnny, he's the funniest little dog. He actually has long legs, but his mom was a corgi.
TW.
And he's part Aussie. Welcome to the family, TW. Right. We really appreciate it.
Major Jammer has a
18 more likes.
Has a message.
We are right on the doorstep of 1,000. Let's finish this strong. Smash the like button and let's make it happen. Major appreciates every single one of y'all. Oh, we really appreciate you. And thank you for your service to our country. And thank you for your service to our channel. Having our 6. Drop some jewels. Finger heart. Thank you so much, Bama Flower.
To all the people that dropped jewels tonight, super chats, just being in the chat, hitting the like and subscribing. We see all of it. We just can't comment to all the, Jules super chats, comments, and that kind of thing, just because it's so overwhelming to us. But we wish we could. And what happens is after the show, we notice some of them, and we're like, wish we could have a way to contact them back. But unless you've emailed us, we don't have a way of doing that.
And Jody Lynn says, we are here for y'all. You put out great content. People will come. Thank you so much, Jody Lynn. True be you, drop some jewels.
True be you.
We really, congrats on 1,000 likes, BB said. Thank you so much, BB. Thank you for showing up.
Did we hit it?
Really appreciate it. She said we did. So is this going to be like the other night?
Wow. Now we have
my gosh,
likes
1,022. Wow, that's really nice of you guys.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. We know that a lot of people come from a lot of other channels, and when it starts to, this is kind of the after party now, they kind of go out, but that's okay. We're just so glad you were here for
Thank you, TC681. Oh, we got some happy poop. I love happy poop.
Do they pick that, or is that just happening?
Oh no.
Welcome,
I think CW. It depends on like how many you get. Yeah. Thank you so much, CW. We really appreciate it.
I hope the happy poop was a lot.
Oh, super. She's Maga Mama said, I love y'all. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That was her super chat too. I don't know if we missed it. And Kitty Cat Heaven 1, welcome to the family for subscribing. We really appreciate it. Yeah, it's Maga Mama right there. I don't know what happened.
Little puppy dog.
There she is. We love you too, Maga Mama. Thank you so much. She's been here since the beginning. Thank you very much.
A lot lot of y'all have been
Debbie Hanchett, drop some jewels of sunshine. Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's Maga Mama's. Oh, a little delay, I guess.
Yeah, it was just a little delay. It's okay. Thank you so much, everybody.
There was something else I wanted to talk about. I can't remember what it was now.
Well, I will say before we go that we've got some really interesting interviews. One has been confirmed, and we've got some really interesting people for you, hopefully for next week. I think.
Hopefully it sticks.
I know. I know.
Confirmed, and then a lot of times.
I know. Sometimes that happens, but if it happens, then this person will look for the thumbnail, because everybody loves this person, and they have agreed to do an interview with us for I'm not telling you, it's a surprise. I was freaking out earlier that she agreed to talk with me and interview. Yep, that may be a hint. But anyway, she's an amazing human being. She's in this fight with us. I think a lot of us forget that there are people with, thank you so much. High five, Jules. I love it. That are working full-time jobs. I know Patriot Pride is one of them. I don't know how you do it, Adam. I don't know how Mike does it either, and then stays up till 2 a.m. and
another super chat. What an awesome community you have created. Way to go on the 1,000.
Wow, thank you so much, Lisa.
TBX fam. Wow, Lisa Klein.
Lisa, thank you very much. It's very nice of you. We really appreciate it. I mean, that's the point about this is, this isn't about us. This is about the missing. This is about the people that don't have voices. So when we all come together with our voices to try and help, it can be a little discouraging at times, Yeah,
the studio is not a happy place sometimes, because you get on the phone and we're starting to talk to people, and then the things we have to hear, and you're like, I can't even say that on the airwaves.
No.
And then to hear people, there's a large amount of people that their mission is, and we hear you.
Thank you so much for the jewels.
We definitely hear you. Your mission is to get a hold of us, because there are other cases that they're just as important.
Yep.
And we are listening, and we do have plans, and we are researching. And you were on the phone today with a city. In fact, I came in the room.
PIO left a message.
You know how I feel. Looking forward to many more adventures. Clues with you. I love that. Clues with you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
More adventures and clues with you.
April, you're awesome. April. I'm telling you what, she is a person that I've seen her in other chats. I think I've seen her in here a couple times, and she's left some very nice comments. This human being right here went out on a limb and was leaving messages in another very large channels, paying for super chats, by the way, to get their attention, to call us and try to help us out before we aired that episode. And April, I can't thank you enough. You really are a very nice person. And I mean, these are people that we've never met, you guys.
Don't get in trouble on other channels. Some of them, I guess, have rules
They
about
have rules
not
about mentioning
other, and we don't want to do that
No.
because
we don't want to get any of you in
it's
trouble.
their channel. They can do what they want. Now, having said that, with our channel, you're welcome to always bring up people that you like. This is for Nancy and whoever else that we're talking about on the future shows.
Thank you so much, Steph.
We all have to do this. We have to do this. This is America.
And if
we're one big family, and we're going to figure this stuff out. This is not going to continue. This can't continue. This missteps and all the things that have happened in this one case. We've got to get the handle on this. And I think we're the ones to call it out.
Yep. I mean, I'm telling you what, it's been an amazing thing to watch. And I often say this. I said it a lot to my kids growing up. It's like when I would pick them up from school, I think when they were little, they're in their 20s now and grown men. But I think the instinct is to go, did you have a good day? And sometimes our natural response is, well, this happened bad. So instead of asking them, did you have a good day? I would say, name 3 positive things that happened today. And they had fun because they knew that at the end of the day, on the car ride home with their snacks and their drinks in the car, that we were going to talk about 3 good things. And I think it's so contagious, negativity and positivity. So then we have to make the decision on what we harp on. And I know there were a lot of people that came to our defense recently on a weird thing that happened, and I won't lie, I was upset about it for about 24 hours, and then I felt foolish. I'm like, I don't even know these people. What do I care what they think about me? It's fine. And I went, you know what? We've got a bunch of really positive people, and that's why I wanted you to read the comments that we're getting. And sometimes I get long emails just saying that they enjoy us and joining us. So you can't let it get to you. And I'm talking about you with Savannah's message that was disappointing, or Nanos that's disappointing. We can't let it get to us. We've got to focus on the positive. We've got to focus on the voice that can't be heard, and that's Nancy. And we know what's happening. Gabby Petito's family appreciated the YouTubers, the live streamers, the people that were out searching, the people that ended up getting answers. And it can happen again. So let's stay positive. Let's lift each other up. And I hope you guys join us back here on Saturday, unless something happens during the week.
Yeah, we will pop on from time to time. We've done it once already, and we'll just come on if something big is going on. But
Brad Knotts, thank you so much for subscribing. We really enjoyed it. Hey, Glenn, you're bringing in the manly men, and we appreciate that. It's so nice to have. There's, I think it's funny because I had mostly guy friends growing up before we leave. It's been really interesting to me how many men I've heard from that are like, I'm just not, I watch, but I'm not the type to hit subscribe or, put my voice in the chat. And all of a sudden, I think between you and Adam and Mike and some of these other men that are putting out their YouTube channels, like the ones that we watch all the time, I think you're starting to make men feel more comfortable with a place to say something. I mean, let's be honest, women. We're the type to go, this isn't fair, because I think we were made to protect as well, and we're the loud voice, and the men a lot of them are quiet leaders and protectors, but they let us do this, and then they go to work doing how to fix it. Let's fix it. So I like that we're hearing from a lot of men in our chat. I like that we're hearing from a lot of men in our emails that are like, let me tell you something.
Quentin,
I'm listening.
Drop some more jewels.
Thank you so much. And I love seeing the men come into the chat with an opinion. We want to hear it. So Johnny O, thank you so much.
Yeah, honestly, it's interesting because our analytics, I guess you can call it, say that we have a lot of women subscribed and people over 50, which is me. I'm not a woman, but I'm over 50. So
you're definitely not a woman.
But if you can be, as long as you're 18, I feel like we love everybody. We want everybody in here, men, women, or whatever. Just come in, sit down, get your coffee, get your sweet tea, get in the chat, hit the like button, subscribe, and bring in your theories. And even if you think it's crazy, let's talk about it, because some of the craziest of theories from the beginning of this thing are now what people are focusing on as possibilities. So theories don't become possibilities unless we bring them up.
Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Jennifer Gilly.
What's funny is I knew a Jennifer Gilly in Texas. She was actually my teacher.
So how old do you think Jennifer is by the name Jennifer?
Probably my age. You'd go down in high school and you'd say Jennifer, and 5 of us would turn around in the hall.
The 90s.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I was born in the 70s. There was a famous model called Jennifer O'Neill. You can Google it.
Yeah.
And everybody started naming their daughters Jennifer after that. Then there was a really, really, really cheesy song. Jennifer.
Oh, God.
Juniper.
There we go.
Oh, my God. And it was a little much. But anyway, I think some people were inspired by the song, also named their daughters Jennifer. Then what was the other one? Jennifer was the name of the character in Love Story in the 70s. Talk about a tearjerker. And gosh, that actress, she's still stunningly beautiful. Anyway, her name was Jennifer in that movie. So I think there's a lot of Jens. So
keep going.
yeah. Well, I'm going to be 53 this year. So
what?
Stop. I know you told me not to get old. It happened.
But look at your hair is still as brown as you were day born.
Thank God you let me hand you the tweezers and pluck a few times.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I can't reach the gray hairs back here, so I give him the tweezers and I'm like, pull it. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot of Jennies. Yes, exactly. In my class. There you go. So we're probably close to the same age. Well, thank you so much for everybody for joining us.
You got to keep going here for a second.
Why? What are you doing?
Trying to do something.
Oh, sorry. And yes, I saw that somebody said in there that yes, there's some really good men in here, even from Alabama.
Dude.
Jeez. Oh, thank you, Lisa.
Is there a way to? Oh well.
What?
I was gonna. Never mind. I'll do it next time. I can't say because then they're gonna be mad that I didn't do it.
Well, now you're going to get a wah, wah,
come up
wah.
with something. And
you just led us on to believe we had something really cool.
First of all, I'm not hearing any sounds. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's weird. So I'm just glad that everybody else is Jenny from the block. Yeah, that's not me. And I can't dance. So that's another little thing you will know about me. So there is no jig. If I do a jig, it would be very unattractive. My poor sister, if she's still here in the chat, is an amazing dancer. She could do anything. And I, a lot of our friends were joking around with the Running Man, and then all of a sudden she does it. I'm like, how the hell are you doing that? She was like, let me show you. It was pathetic. It's pathetic. So I was asked out in high school by this really good looking guy, and I really wanted to go out with him. And
good to know.
And he invited me to go dancing at this club in the West End Marketplace in Dallas. If any of you are old enough to remember that, at level 5. It'll be funny if somebody actually knows what level 5 is. What's that? Oh, hey. So you gifted membership, Sarah. Thank you so much.
It'll randomly pick 5 people and you can be in for a month and go on our we're calling them the herd. We're going to tell everybody that's just kind of something because
everybody is called our buffalo the mascot now. So
yeah, and if you go on the merch store, there's some things on there that are pretty, affordable. Like there's a koozie, and I'll show you on next episode. You just go on there. It's one of the first few things, and on the back of it's the buffalo, and so the buffalo's kind of become our mascot. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's calling it our mascot.
Yeah. So the members are the herd members. So we appreciate everybody though. Subscribe, like. Whatever you can do, we just love it. And honestly,
I was telling my story.
I know, but I interrupted you.
I love it. Go for it.
No, that was it.
No, I love it. I love that you gifted the memberships and Scary Drawdown.
Oh, I heard you with the memberships. I'm sorry.
No, it was hilarious. I love it. I'm always an interrupting
I tried to do it on the
cheese.
last episode, and it kept saying something about you can't use that credit card or whatever. And I'm like, but that's the one we use for everything. I don't want to have to put in a number. It's the automatic one that,
Oh.
And so I'm like, I'll try it again. Yeah, it just works. So YouTube's finicky that way.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
yeah, we wanted to give you all some memberships. We appreciate all of our members and all of our subscribers and likers and commenters. We really appreciate it.
Oh, that's
So-
another thing. Can I interrupt you again?
Yes.
Want me to count to 5? and
No,
interrupt
it's
you?
just hilarious. The end of the story, but it's fine. It's probably nobody's going to care.
No, go ahead. I'll remember this.
So my poor sister felt sorry for me because she knew I wanted to go on this date like really badly and go, but I did not know how to dance and I felt really stupid. And I was like, I could do a little bit of this, like, a minimum movement. And she was like, okay, wait a minute. What are you doing?
The minimum movement.
So if any of you have ever seen the original Footloose, where he locks him in a room and is trying to teach him how to dance, that was literally what my sister did with me. And then she's the nicest human being on the planet. She was like, no, you did a really good job. And I was like, you're a liar, but we'll go with it. So yes, I ended up going to the club, but I pretty much just did the minimum movement dance while my date did the Running Man, but that was the extent of it. So I'm always grateful for people. Look, the world goes round because everybody has a different talent. Everybody has a different strength, and we're not all going to have those strengths, and it's really nice to have people that come in here that have some amazing talents and amazing strengths with research and suggestions and networking. You guys are awesome. So we're really appreciative. You may talk.
I have the con. Okay, so
I want to stop for 2 seconds. He told me when we started this podcast, I'm not talking. You need to do all the talking. Then we get, poor Glenn can't get into word in edgewise.
it's by design.
Like, literally, you make me look like a horrible human being.
I just sit there.
And then I need to get a word in.
Can I say something?
Even on this episode, he goes, I have 2 segments. That's it. I want you to talk the rest of
They
it.
know that I'm joking when I go, hey, can you let
No,
them-"
people may not. They don't know that you have
Are
a
you
very,
serious?
I'm telling you,
Oh,
you have
come
a
on.
very dry sense of humor that sometimes can
I
look
have been told that
off-putting.
a lot.
So yes, it's hilarious,
Very dry
but
sense of
we need to be clear that you literally told me before today, I'm really tired. I think I need more protein. And now
Ew. I was running to Sam's to get the Fairlife protein drinks. They should pay us.
and then
for
you're
that
like,
people that are onto those now. Anyway, back to the website. Back to me. So tbxunfiltered.com. I should have made a thing for it tonight, but we'll do that next time. Anyway, go there, play around on it. Tell me if you have anything that you think is broken or needs adjustment, because it's different on the cell phone. It's different on a laptop. It's different on an iPad from a desktop, whatever. It's hard to get it all to work right. But you'll notice on there, it's a little bit more front and center at the very bottom is the merch shop. Not asking you to go on there and buy merch or whatever. Just if you like that stuff, do it. If you don't worry about it. But there is the Amazon shop on there now. I don't know if you know I did this. Jennifer has a, it used to be, it's still huge.
I don't even know what I have on there.
She's got 40,000 followers from her other business on Instagram, which was, what's that address?
It's not important.
No, I want to know because it can see it. I'm not lying.
Thornbridge Hill Estate.
Thornbridge Hill Estate.
It's our design stuff.
It's on Instagram.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's a designer. Well, she has an Instagram shop where she puts on some of her, like your clothes and stuff that you put
Decor
around
stuff.
the house, decor, whatever.
People are like, where'd you get the pepper mill? It's on there.
The salt mills.
Where'd you get the teapot? It's on there.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just kind of fun.
But you've set it up pretty nice. You need to get probably in there and make it even better.
Yeah.
But if you're ever curious of some of the stuff you see in the house, this is what happens. Remember that painting?
The painting. The infamous painting.
Back in her
I got it for like
decor days.
$40 at an antique store. It's ginormous.
As we always do. We don't.
And I'm very thrifty. So I go to Glenn told me about 3 years ago that I was no longer allowed to take stuff out of people's trash. But I like fixing things up, and I like
said that out loud.
Well, I mean, somebody else's trash was literally our treasure. So, hey, the rug you're standing on was my second great grandmother's that was in the trash. And I went, why are you throwing that away? So,
But anyway, if you go on there, you can kind of peruse the Amazon store if you're curious about some of Jennifer's design stuff too. I mean, it's totally off of the TBX Unfiltered thing, but it is kind of interesting. I was on there today, and the reason I'm bringing it up, I'm like, oh yeah, I love that. In fact, you walked in and said, hey, get that teapot. I need another one.
That is so nice of you, Kawasaki. Yes.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
Truth Warrior says, I love finding treasures, LOL, no shame. Yes, thank you so much, Kawasaki. You're absolutely right. But when people don't know you and they think you're just a jerk, then you have to explain.
Yeah.
So I promise you I'm not being a jerk and not letting Glenn talk. He literally tells me that he doesn't want
Oh my God, please talk the whole time. I'll just sit over here and run everything.
He's like, I'll just be the tech, but I'll sit next to you.
It's just,
it's fine.
it's a neat relationship. We've always had a neat relationship.
Yeah,
But now the
always had
last
fun
month
together.
doing this, it's really changed a little bit because we have to take on roles. We both can't do everything, you know? So
Strengths and weaknesses.
and Jennifer's strength is the phone. I promise you, if you're trying to get a hold of somebody.
They're going, we know Glenn. She can talk.
No, it's not about being able to talk. It's about the tenacity of, well, like the guy you talked to today that you don't want me to say anything about, I won't. But that took a few phone calls in about 3 weeks. And he calls her back today. This guy called her back after 3 minutes of leaving a message to the receptionist who they don't care. That gatekeeper, the receptionist, they don't care. You're telling them your story about this, that, and she's trying to break the barrier and break the ice and get, some rapport going. And that lady was like, okay, well, I'll let them know. Okay, well, I'll let them know. Okay, well, I'll let them know. And Jennifer's like, oh, one more thing. Da, 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 something personal, and she's like, okay, I'll let them know. And what happened was he was walking by the reception's desk and heard her having this thing with somebody. So he broke his curiosity, and he's the owner. And so he called back like 2 minutes later. I have to hear who this person is. And then that was it. An hour-long conversation. And I think that's going to turn into
He goes, I
something
was
that
sitting
y'all
right there.
You guys are going to benefit from it just like we are, because we're going to bring you all that information he has. And yeah, he had some things to say and he knows. He knows. So, little teaser.
Well, I appreciate all of it. Are we missing questions? Like, are people putting questions?
I'm sure,
missing?
because you made me digress.
Says you shouldn't have to do that. If it's on, should be there. How you did it. I got someone who is so good at that. So okay, or maybe it's just inner chat.
It's literally chat.
If please put in the question again if you guys asked something and we missed it. We call it curbing on cleanup week. People throw. Oh, I know. My neighbor. I still have huge pots and a huge ginormous pumpkin thing, and I was like, I called her up. I'm like, is it okay if I come over and steal the stuff out of your
Look at them all
trash?
giving you a break. Interior designers commonly do that.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
It's well, whatever. I love it.
Oh my God. My dad got a Sony Triniton TV from a garage sale. That thing traveled the countries and lasted 22 years. Sony for sure. Yeah.
You know what? You know what my cousin had? It was in Massachusetts. It was called the what did they call it? It was literally at the dump, and it was like a shed, and they called it like the swap shop or something. And it was stuff that wasn't bad enough to toss. So I said, I need like a really good place. Let's see. I'm so glad that I found you. You're truly a blessing to the missing families out there. I can feel your care and compassion. Thank you. Diana.
You
thank
nailed
you
it,
so
Diana.
much.
We have all the care and compassion for everybody.
We really try.
These missing people, they're going to be found. We're all going to do it.
I'm a Libra.
We can do this.
Somebody asked if
And
I was
see
an Aries.
Patriot Pride still in here. Wow, it's past his bedtime. Just kidding. He's up till 4 a.m.
Yeah, he let us go the other night, and somebody was like, was that a brush off? And I'm like, no, I think he saw Glenn yawning. He was like, let him go to
that
bed.
was bad. All of a sudden I went, oh.
Yeah, it's because you need more protein.
But every time I see his little, I don't know what you call it, his avatar, is that what those are called? Every time I see his avatar, it makes me thank a veteran, thank a law enforcement officer, first responder. But the veterans, man, that's why we're here. That's why we're able to come on these airwaves and say what we need to say. And it's a big deal.
What is your sign? Are you a Sagittarius?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, anyway, this swap shop thing, whatever, this shed, I flew up there to help her decorate her house that she just bought. And it was like insanity because at the time my kids were like 10 and 8. She had 4 under the age of 10. And so it was like running a daycare and a decorating den. It was like crazy. Anyway, but we did it. And I'm like, where can I go to find really cool, like unique stuff? And that's like, maybe junky, but whatever. She goes, oh, well, we can go to the swap shop. I go, what the heck is a swap shop? She takes me into this shed.
Oh, who is this person?
My gosh, my cousin.
I need to talk to her.
So anyway, we go in there and there was a stand, like literally two, what do you call it? Pedestals that were ball and claw foot wood, all perfect, just thrown in the corner. I go, oh, grab it. She goes, what are we gonna do with it? I go, you've got a glass top in your garage. I saw it. She goes, oh yeah, that was an old desk we're not using. So we made this beautiful table out of it. It was freaking awesome. So yeah, junk is not always junk.
You're freaking awesome. Literally. Our kids had the most amazing nurseries, and it was all hand painted.
Oh, I did murals too.
this
Yeah, it was
lady.
fun.
And we were married for a while and decided to have kids. And then the first nursery for our oldest son now, I'm like, what in the world? My kid's going to have that dresser and and it was so ugly. And then Jennifer, it was 3 or 4 days of work, sanding and painting. It was like, hear all the noise going on.
Well, I was ginormously pregnant.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm working 80 hours a minute.
Yeah.
And I come home and this thing is done and it's got Beatrix Potter like professionally painted all over it.
Aw.
It was so amazing. Where is
Thank you.
Can we give that away or what do we do?
No, it's still in the family.
It's amazing. That thing was so cool. And then the Woolworths looking room when they got a little older with the big bomber.
Oh
on the
yeah,
bed.
Landon said he's gonna kill me. Thank God he's not modding tonight. He loved bobbers. I don't know why. He had an obsession with
bobbers.
fishing bobbers, and so we found one at what was it? Like Bass Pro Shop or something.
Yeah.
It's ginormous. It's like a huge pillow, and he held it. He's like 3 years old. He goes, "My precious bobber." So yeah, I did a fishing and hunting room, so it was really fun. But anyway,
The mural on the
I don't
wall
think
of the
people came here to
wilderness
let
with
us
the
talk
bear
about
on it.
fishing.
I know. I'm sorry.
Decorating.
Okay,
You're very
we can
sweet.
go now.
But yep, we'll let you go. Thank you so much. Please like on the way out, subscribe if you enjoyed our
It really
content
helps.
and want to join us again. If this interview happens like I think it will happen, then you will see us on Tuesday next week with something really, really cool. And don't forget to check us out on Friday because we're going to be on Crime Crunchies. Sorry, Courtney. Courtney is awesome and apparently saw our interview and wanted to have us on our show. So we are so honored. We're going to be on our show at 5:30 p.m. Central Time on Crime Crunchy. So if you're not subscribed to her, please go over and subscribe. She's a wonderful person.
Thank you,
And
Baby Bear. She bought
oh my gosh.
I love that. Those things are so soft. Those
And Baby
hoodies.
Bear Stacy said that she is a third cousin, I think, of Stevie Nicks.
Shut up.
And my mouth was on the floor. She's literally like the only other like star person in my life that I've ever wanted to meet. I just,
She says goodnight.
thank you so much. I
people,
love her.
Jen.
Oh, thank you so much.
We have the best friends now.
Yes, I know. Y'all are awesome. So tell your third cousin that I'm not worthy.
Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac. It's in our house.
Yep.
Let's just say these
Yep.
walls have the frequency of all their music.
So thank you so much. And Patriot Pride is in the house. He is on tomorrow night, Wednesday. So check out his channel and subscribe if you're not. And anyway, so excited for
He's letting Jennifer
see them.
know, but let everyone know tomorrow night. And he goes on late too. We were trying to stay to 2 hours. We almost did it, 2 hours and 42. But the last 30, 40 minutes, come on.
You're talking about my murals.
Around.
Give me a break.
Yeah, but we do have something coming for Saturday. I don't want to say anything about any of that yet because we may change if we get the other interview. May flip.
Yep. So thank you so much, everybody. So see us Saturday. It's Tuesdays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Set your little alarm bell. It's the little bell. It sets the notifications. It lets you know when we're coming on. Because sometimes, I mean, we got people were like, I didn't know you guys were coming on. So, and on my bucket list to meet too. I mean, pretty awesome. That is so cool to be related to her. Amazing. But anyway, so we sure appreciate all of you that like and subscribe. And thank you so much for getting us to 1,000 likes tonight. We really appreciate it. And all the members, wow, what a great night. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.
Thank you, everybody. We love you guys.
break room light. Jam brings the facts, Glenn brings the hard truth. Cold case folders open, names we will not lose. We follow every thread for the ones abused. No smoke, no gloss, just the line and the cost. If it happened, we'll say it. If they're missing, we'll pray. Thornbridge X Unfiltered, truth and justice. Thornbridge X Unfiltered.
What?